ကောင်းဆုံးအလေလံ Zeus အိုးငါဘက်ကိုဆိုလိုတာပါအကောင်းဆုံးကစားသမားစီ One Expert ကစားသူများ One Expert ဒါသင်ရဲ့ pick ပဲကျေးဇူးပြုပြီးယနေ့ညရဲ့ကျေဝင်များကိုကြိုဆိုလိုက်ကြရအောင် One Expert မှာထိပ်တန်းစုများကိုရယူထားသူ Dota 2 hero များ
specializing on. So get rid of those specialty heroes and leave the rest in the pool and just treat them as regular heroes in a way. Like a Jakiro, for example, could be ban-worthy with the hero starting to arise in popularity, but still something that you'll be okay with letting through and you adjust to it. But a Weaver is much more of a specialized hero. They're going to open up with the Muerta that we have seen Nigma play both in the mid lane for Sumail, could be for him, or also Omar.
And the puck, I mean, no big surprise there. The puck into Muerta isn't like the easiest.
Hola,
I know it's Nisha, but you can very easily get caught in the calling if you're just a little bit careless. And even if you are careful, it is a pretty much instant silence that's waiting for you when you make the puck's game easy.
Oh, Murida
silence that you can land. Kind of hard on the phase shift though.
Nigma Murida mill there, no. Murida mill there.
Through that, but if you're will be easy for
to me on
at least if you see the hero running still down on the ground and hasn't phase shifted, then you can at least instant silence and possibly prevent the puck from escaping. And the magical nuke from a long distance, which has definitely surprised a lot of players. We kind of talked this through.
Nigma 2.3.
Probably about a month ago, we were discussing with a lot of the Finnish pro players about Muerta and the mid lane. It feels like there's not a lot of matchups that do well versus the Muerta in general. Hard to poke, hard to deal damage to. Deadshot is still a very well scaling a magical ability in the laning stage, so you cannot contest the range creeps away from her. So she's gonna have good farms. She's hard to contest with. It's basically what happens after, because she is still squishy. Is slow, easy to catch. So Muerta's defensive ability toolkit basically comes into play through a +1.
And Muerta is coming back or creeping up back into the meta. We've seen a big problem in position 4s. Basically, we haven't just yet. So maybe they're gonna be staying with their approach of always picking a different hero.
Yeah, and of course, this is what they did in TI, right? So this is Sumail's Muerta most likely. But they will give them that flex option still available. Liquid's next pick coming up. They decide to ban the Void Spirit, so that could potentially be for the off lane, or from the carry, or even from the mid position. You've got 3 players for that Void Spirit on Nigma Galaxy's roster.
Actually, during the group stages of DI, Omar's second most played hero was Muerta, but he had a pretty
Nigma team
yeah.
So,
Nigma game Murida miss Nigma game one jay.
Sumail, who had
Yeah, Sumail was very successful with Muerta. I feel like one of their best successes was absolutely, I kept on repeating this form, that they were the first to figure out the Lone Druid, how to make it work, how to play around it, how to get wins with the hero. And when people started banning Lone Druid away from Nigma Galaxy, they had to resort to something cool, something different, and they came up with this Muerta mid for Sumail, and that took teams off surprise. So now you're like, we have to spend 2 bans on a team-specific bans, which opens up the regular meta heroes to be picked again. So it definitely is a good flex for Nigma Galaxy, already secured in the first phase. You've got Mars, you could play Muerta, or we could see that pause 4 being picked all the way at 23rd. So most likely now we're going to see Toby's hero and maybe Ghost.
Yeah, for the 18th pick makes sense.
So
what is a good Toby hero? I
Warlock
guess you just go for something standard. There's a Snaffar, so maybe the
Bane
feel that great.
Warlock Bane were basically the only heroes that he really played, and the Pugna. So it's one of those 3 most likely. But
he
looks
goes
like
for the Enchantress despite the Snaffar.
Long Ru pit Nigma Long Ru Bane or Huma
I would have definitely said Warlock Bane, which were his most likely heroes, especially when he was playing not with Liquid, but with Tundra standing in, because those were the heroes that mimicked Whitemon.
မူရေတာမ
But I
င်း
guess it depends on
ဘာ
what
ချာ
you
လာ
want to
ရှုံ
put
မယ်
in
ဆိုရ
position
င်
in, right? If Ghost wants to get something that really does need a strong laner,
ဟာ
with
နေ
you,
ကမ
that
ဂိမ်း1ကြိုက်တယ်နော်
not
နေကမဂိမ်း
necessarily
1ထဲ
heals,
ပစ်
but
ကြီးကိုတကယ်
also,
ကြိုက်တယ်
being able to push the wave back, maybe a little bit more aggression, then maybe he wouldn't be too happy with having a Bane and a Warlock. The Enchantress is definitely, especially once you
ကြိုက်
get
ပြီ
level
နေကမ
3,
ဂိမ်း
a big nuisance to almost any lane. Juggernaut, pretty safe.
1
pick for
2.0 ပဲ
now.
ကျန်တော့တယ်
Mars, Enchantress, Muerta. None of these heroes do well versus the Jug. Muerta is a core. Your Pierce the Veil is somewhat of a save versus him, but he also can just spin and get away from you quite easily when you're in your ulti.
Yeah, and she's a soft hero as a pause 4 to go up against the Jug. You can't escape the spin with Muerta's movement speed. So you can definitely take a lot of harass in this lane
Brewmaster.
if Liquid finds an opening. So maybe an aggressive pause 5.
Jakiro
Something
maybe?
that acts as either a gap closer or a poke. That Shakira would definitely work well for them. They're gonna
Liquid
pick
pick က
up
မိုက်
the
တော့မိုက်
Pudge
တယ်ကွာ
after
ဒီကောင်လေး
all.
လုံး
So
သူ
we're
တို့
gonna play a
အဲ့
Tofu
ဝက်ကို
plays a
လေး
lot
ဘော
of
တင်
snaps,
ဖို့
so
လုံး
maybe
နေတာ
he plays a 5
ဘ
snap
ရူးနဲ့
and,
လေးဘောတင်ပြီးတော့ဗတ်တယ်ဆိုင်မဲ့အနေထားမှာ
Boxy
ရှိတယ်
Pudge.
Ace plays Pudge as well.
Ace
if
also
I'm
plays
not-
Pudge,
Yeah.
but that would
Cool.
leave you a last pick pause 4 or pause 5. So again, coming back to the point of is that hero going to be strong enough? That hero was suspected.
ဒါကြီးလိုက်မှာစေးပြီ
You
တဲ့
know,
ရုပ်စီ
and
တာ
now when
စေး
I
ပြီ
see a Pudge,
ဟာစေး
I'd actually want it as a core, right? Because
Savvy.
doesn't like going versus these minus heal heroes. So
နေကမဂိမ်း1 1.9 ပဲကျန်တယ်လူတွေနေကမဂိမ်း1ထည့်နေကြပြီအနေထား
Not a bad idea. Does okay in the lane. The Pudge versus the Lone Druid 2. He only has to worry about the Enchantress. You're not killing the Ench with these heroes right now for Liquid, especially if he goes over Protective Wisps. If you go with Spellbound, then maybe you can kill the Ench.
yeah, I want to see the item build of this lone druid. Freaking hell! It's only showing the hero. Wait. Yeah, he's like he has 5 branches. Ghost, good job. That is a great build.
I mean, if you'd have to ask me, I think it's most likely just going to be Mjolnir, Ags, AC, Face Boots.
He went Diffusal before those.
What was he against?
He was against Lycan. He was against the TB, the Shaker as well. I feel like Diffusal.
ရွေး
just
ချင်း
makes
over
a
ပဲ
lot of
ရိုက်တော့မယ်
sense
ကွာ
nowadays,
ရွေး
right?
ချင်း
'Cause
over နဲ့နေက
people
မ
do
ဂိမ်း
want
1
to
နဲ့
be in their cores to fight a little bit earlier, and that
ရိုက်ရင်
that
ကောင်းမယ်
really does allow you to do that. If you go for a Maelstrom, then you're kind of focusing only on farming. But if you go Diffusal and it works out early on nicely, then you can get your Maelstrom quite quickly as well and go back to farming if need be.
နောက်ဆုံး brew ပစ်ကြီးကကောင်းသွားပြီ
At,
ပြောရမယ်ဆိုရင်အဲ့
the previous.
brew ကြီးကတိတာ
Yeah, he does go for the Diffusal, but there's another game where he went Mjolnir into Nullifier into AC, then Disperser. So
Yeah, he switches it up for sure.
some games he just sells the Diffusal at some point and changes over to the bigger items, or just picks up the Diffusal, upgrades to Disperser, keeps it as one of the core items.
over ပဲတီးလိုက်ပြီ
But I suspect you're still going to have
Vision
Mjolnir
over
AC,
38
Ags is still your
အာ
those
နေကမ
items
တီး
don't
မလို့
change.
Ags is such a
အော်
nice
တရားလဲ
guy
ကြာ
on
သွားတော့မ
the,
တီးကျင်တော့
on the lone druid nowadays. It's pretty cool that you can just pop it on on another hero. So they banned out the Pango. I like that one because Liquid, they might need an offlaner, and also Pango isn't really countered by any of these heroes. If you get your Rolling Thunder off, you're pretty much free to roam the fight. The Mars doesn't stop you. You walk in and out of the arena, no problem. So nice takeaway by Nigma Galaxy.
Yeah, Liquid also removed the Hoodwink just now. Hoodwink and DK. So 2 separate role heroes.
over ချပဲ save ဖြစ်တယ်ဟုတ်တယ်အဲ့ဒါကြောင့်
Being Sumail DK.
ရွေးချင်း
and,
over ပဲ
Omar
တီးလိုက်ပြီ
Hoodwink
38
because of that Muerta Flex that will be released here on the 23rd here.
Let's say if Sumail wanted to play something else in the mid lane, Shaker would still be open. And you are a little bit lacking in the lockdown department, burst department as well. So actually it wouldn't be half bad. And it definitely is a Sumail hero.
It is. And also Invoker, which is also in the pool. But they are banning out the Underlord.
နေကမဂိမ်း 1
They're
လီ
trying
ကို
to force
ပန်း
that
ပါ
Pudge
ဟာ
into the offlane role.
တို့အောင်လဲ ဟာအထင်တယ်
Or
see
even
what's saying.
mid if Nisha's like, let's roll this puck somewhere else, like support.
ဝိုင်းထင်သွားတယ်အထင်မကြိုက်ဘူးထင်နဲ့ဟာရအချက်မကဘူးကတော်တော်ထက်သွား
If Sumail gets to a point where he's actually doing a ton of damage.
Yeah, easy way to get damage amp. And you also don't need to put yourself in harm's way. Though you are still somewhat timing dependent in the mid game, especially Lone Druid getting to play the rat. Pretty much the only hero that pushes with the Enchantress on this lineup. So you have two heroes that push versus Team Liquid that have a lot of pushers here. We're going to bring up the Brewmaster. So Nisha puck. No flex on the puck after all. And support Pudge for Boxy.
4. Yeah, it's going to be a position 4 Pudge. I guess with melee heroes, you can pull the waves a little bit easier. Against the Enchantress, though, it's a problem. Pudge, he has a lot of HP, but his armor isn't the greatest. So the Enchantress poking you all the time is gonna hurt. I can't wait to see how this bottom lane goes, or
အချာ position
top
4
lane goes actually between Liquid and
ဘတ်ချာနဲ့ brew နဲ့
because
တလိမ့်ပေါ့ဘတ်
you
ချာ
have two
brew
melee
lane ကို
heroes
လုံး
versus
သူ
an Enchantress and a Lone Druid. That's gonna be a lot of harassment.
Lone Druid
on the lane, but I've
Enchantress
seen
is
Brewmasters
it
actually
rain နှကောင်
survive
မီးနှ
those
ကောင်
lanes, right? You max out the stances, and by
Easy
moving through
laning.
them with in a good way, you are
ပေါ်လင်းက
able
စကိုင်း
to
နဲ့မှာ
sustain
စကိုင်းက
the
easy ပဲ
maximum
ဂျာကားနဲ့ကို
damage
တောက်လျှောက် harass လို့ရတယ်
But who's going to be taking game number 1?
Ooh, I'm
I really
actually the Nigma corner.
You like the Nigma draft? I mean, I'm down with it. I think they just got two
စကိုင်းမှာလို့ပြစ်လဲ silent လုပ်ဖို့လေ
good heroes on their side.
ဒီကတော့ silent လုပ်ဖို့ပြီးတော့ Mars နဲ့ combo တွဲလို့ရတယ်လေ
on Mars.
Arena Spear ပြီးရနဲ့စကိုင်းစစ်
one of the lowest performing Mars players because he was missing
ပြီးရင်ဒီကောင် silent ပတ်တို့ပါလို့ဆောင်းအောင်နောက်
he was getting a lot of
ပြီးအခု brew တို့ပါလို့ဆိုလဲဒါအောင်နောက်မှာပဲလူတက်ဆော့သွားမှရ
from people around me who are watching those games. So I hope that this during this after TI period, he's gotten back onto his A game. But they got Lone Druid, they got Muerta, and I feel like those two specialty heroes are definitely a driving force for Nigma. But it's Nisha Puck, and they got Boxy on Pudge. So you go Nigma, I go Liquid. I think that's the way we're gonna split here, right?
Yeah, the main reason I'm kind of going for Nigma is none of the those heroes, but the Sky.
ဂါကြီး age ဘယ်လောက်ရှိပြီလဲ
Sky versus
ဂါကြီး 31 လား 32 လားမသိ
it just gives me
32
so much confidence. I feel like this last pick for Nigma Galaxy
One,
is
two,
so
the cool
awesome,
way.
and that it can bring them so much. It is a great counter to the puck. It can be a problem for the Juggernaut. It can be a problem for the Brewmaster. It is just amazing. And we should get into the game because
Yep,
I get a
because
fight.
we're running straight into a fight. We'll get to that radio cast and live pictures right now because Boxy and Noob are going to be battling it out in the front line, and they are both getting traded. Ghost will pick up the first blood on the Lone Druid, and Noob will drop to Mickey. Mickey taking a couple pokes here. Omar does have another concussive shot, and maybe Tofu is going to be a second. Let's see what Liquid does. Nice dead shot there onto the back line by Sumail, and trading Ghost spare. So plus 300 gold. I think it was Mickey who got that money. So that is quite a lot picked
First
up
blood
there on
goes
the side
here,
of Liquid. Yep,
Don't
it
do
does
ya,
go
fell
for
while you
Mickey
are,
as his
man.
net worth now skyrockets to over 1,000 gold.
That
Game
is
hasn't even
so
started.
much. That is so much, and they and a big deal for sure. So I'm
Boots of speed.
အကြိုက်လေဆိုတော့ Nigma game 1
Fury kill potentially in the lane.
ကြိုက်တယ်
yeah. I mean, your Skyrim
ဒါပေမဲ့
Mage is
ကိုရိုက်
quite
ထားတာ
speedy if he
တော့
does keep his distance.
duration over
But
38
the
ရိုက်ထားတယ်
Mars could be in a lot of trouble. Even though Mars is tanky, so you at least level 1 spin, you should be able to survive. But you still don't want to be taking the entirety of that damage.
Bounties are going to get split 2 for 2. Ace and Mickey will pick one each for Liquid. Nigma able to battle it out in the river. Now will be Omar who gets his faster fingers out. Of course, he will start with the
ဘယ်လောက်
concussive
ကျုံးမလဲပဲ
blow
ကြည့်ရ
or the
သူမေး
concussive
ဘယ်လောက်
shot.
ပြင်းမလဲ
Yep.
တေချာတော့ပတ်ကနေမှာ
only hit on heroes.
သူမင်းကအဲ့ hero ဆောင်ကျန်
Really difficult to position it correctly. Tofu's already getting a lot of poke on Omar here with that little
ဒီ
shredder.
ကောင် attack speed မဟုတ်ပါဘူးဘယ်လိုပြောမလဲ attack animation
You
က
got zero armor, so this as soon as you go into
ပတ်က
minus
attack
territory,
animation ထဲ
this is like
မြန်တယ်
Snapfire is gonna
အဲ့
bully
တော့သူ့ရဲ့
the hell out of you in this lane.
ကြည်ပြစ်တဲ့ကြည်ထွက်တဲ့နှုံးอ่ะတနိုင်လောက်ကတာတို့သိရမလား crit ရှင်စားရတာတို့ကစောင်းသိတာ
Poke on the Skywrath Mage as you do not allow your Jugger to
ပြော
take any
အခုလဲ
damage,
ဟိုမှာ
and if
ပြစ်
he's
ခံ
gonna
နေရ
have
ပြီ
to
နီရှာ
stay in the backlines to pretty much not die from some random hit, then you can target the Mars, and Skywrath Mage is again dropping
ဩ
low in
ဥ
damage.
မာချောယူအောင်
He's definitely going down there, so that's going to be enough. And
ဒီ
Ace
ပေါ်မှာလည်းထက်
with
ချောတယ်
Boxy will be able to take down Toby
ဘယ်လို
and
ကြီး
the
တော့
Enchantress.
rain နှစ်ကောင်မီလီ
And
နှစ်ကောင်
even
နဲ့
through the
အော် hook ပါသွားတာ
overprotective
ဖြစ်မယ်
wisps, and it looked like that enchant was
အဲ့
already
hook ပါရင်တော့
forced
တေး
on
မှာကွာမရ
cooldown
ဘူးအပြော့တယ်
earlier because it's now available, meaning she didn't have it there for that actual
drive ရဆိုနေကမာကောင်းတယ်ဟုတ်တယ် drive ရဆိုနေကမာရှယ်
Liquid picking up two
အဲ့ကြောင့် game 1နေကမာနည်းနည်းကြိုက်တယ်ဆိုတာအဲ့ကြောင့်
consecutive kills.
အဲ့ပို့ပြီးတော့ save ဖြစ်အောင်လို့ duration over ပဲရိုက်ထား
So we
အဲ့တော့ over တော့ဖြစ်လောက်တယ်
we're still
liquid pick ကလည်းအဲ့လို
looking
နေ
good
ထား
in
တစ်ခု
the top
ထိ
lane.
ဆော့လို့ရ
I
တယ်
feel
ကွာ
like I
ပြက်
actually
ကြီးမ
love
ဟုတ်
that they went for the fight level 1 because when
ပြီး
there's
အ
a
သ
level
င်း
2
က
build,
လည်း
there's a
သိရ
level
မ
2
လား
enchant, the top lane becomes
level 1
much
အသင်းတွေ
more
ဖြစ်သွားပြီ
targeted,
ဆိုတော့
so
ဒါ
it's very important
over မယ်
to
ထင်ရတာပဲ
apply that pressure early. And they do hurt a little bit in CS because of that, but you still get
မိခဲဓာကြီးကပိုရှည်နေရ
It's
တာ
a
ဘာလို့
Pressure
ထား
Master
တော့ဒါ
after all, so that is quite
ဓာ
difficult
ကြီးက
for
ရှည်နေ
the
တရှည်ကြီး
Brewmaster
ဖြစ်
to apply pressure onto that lone druid if he's just standing at the right position. You are right. There might be some openings here
Levi.
for
Omar is that
Tundra.
again.
For Nigma, I mean. Omar, yeah, he's most
They
likely
do,
dead
they
to the
do.
spin.
Fire.
He does. He did get
Oh,
some barrier
lare,
out of the
lare.
shield of the Scion.
Yep.
Doing a bit of magical damage, keeps him alive. Blade Fury feel fully magical, and they're gonna get a lot of poke onto Mickey. Still has a 13 magic wand. He'll be okay. But a good retaliation from Nigma Galaxy.
Yeah, finally a little bit of a trade there on the bottom lane that's gonna favor them. I mean,
ခရီးပင်လဲရှုံဟုတ်တယ်မိကပြောပါတယ်စူမင်းအဲ့ဒီကောင် မင်းဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ရိုက်မှာလို့
doesn't want to lose his bear. This is better than any kill on the map again.
ဟာရော300တောင်
That goes for Boxy.
level 2ကပတ်စံ300ရသွားတယ်အပေါ်လမ်းမှာအဲ့လို what data ကြီးကအဆင်မပြေဘူး
Ends
နော်
up getting the final tick.
နေကမာ
So 30
အလဲလင်းတ
seconds
လိမ့်
to
ပဲ
that
တာ
bear
နေတဲ့ပုံ
goes.
စံမှာရှိတယ်
Most importantly,
အောက်လမ်းလေးနည်းနည်းတော့
that's,
တာတယ်ကွာအောက်လမ်းနည်းနည်း
money
တာ
for
နော်
Liquid,
ဒါကနဲ့
money real estate.
တာရတော့လည်းမဟုတ်အောက်လမ်းက level လို့တော့ပြောလို့ရ
Looking
ကို
awesome
ချကို
for
ချ
them.
နေကမာအနေနဲ့အောက်လမ်းက level အလဲက
It's
တာ
just the
မယ်
CS
အပေါ်က
department that's looking a
နည်း
bit
နည်း
worried
နှိမ့်ကျင်
because, already
သူ
mentioned
တော့အ
how
ကုန်ဘဲသားပဲကြည့်
difficult
ပါ
this
ပဲ
is probably
ဟုတ်
for
နော်
the puck to play into this
တလန်းသာ
matchup
တလန်း
versus
နှိမ့်
Sparta, 'cause
တလန်းလေပဲ
Sumail, especially with this hero in a 1v1, you get points faster into dead shot. It already does 2.5 times the damage at level
ဒီ
3.
play မရောက်တဲ့အသင်းနဲ့
Even
TIC ရတဲ့
over
သင်း
when you hit level 5, so that definitely is a
ရပါတယ်အဲ့လိုတော့မပြောပါနဲ့
while in the top lane.
မလောက်ခံနေရပြီတွေ့လား
Ghost Toby will land the
လောက်ခံနေရပြီ
heal, but it's
မှာ
not
ဘောက်စီရဲ့
because the nature's
ဘတ်ချာနဲ့တိုဖူရဲ့ဘတ်ချာနဲ့က
150 second
အကွဲကြီးပဲ
cooldown now for the lone druid.
မနေ့ကဒီကောင်တွေတိသွားတာဖြစ်မယ်သိလား
That is a disaster.
တိုဖူဘတ်ချာမရဘူးဆိုတာတိသွားတာဖြစ်မယ်အဲ့ဒါကြောင့်ဒီပွဲတိုဖူကို
Look at him. He was
ဟို
farming
ဟာ
solid
စနက်ဖိုင်ယာ
up
ပေး
until
ပြီးတော့
that
ဘောက်စီ
point,
ဘ
but
တ်ချာ
he
ကို
gave
င်တာ
away
ဖြစ်
two
ဖို့
bears
များတယ်
in
ကိုထင်
in
တော့
this game already, and
မနေ့က
now it's
တို
gonna
ဖူ
be much
ချိတ်တွေက
easier
အ
for
စာ
them to
ပိုင်း
kill
လွဲ
him once
ချက်
again
တေး
because
ဆိုတာ
he
နောက်
doesn't
ပိုင်း
have
မှာဒါခံဘက်ဖြစ်ပြီးတော့နည်းနည်း
Some poke
ချိတ်လေးတွေက ပြန်မှန်လာ
Tofu Omar. Only trade a couple
နော်
hits
ရှုံး
back
လို့လို့ဖြစ်နေ
to
ကို
the,
ကိုအောရင်ထားတဲ့ပွဲကြီးနော်မနေ့ကတော်သေးလို့
so no
Have it while-
generation going their way, but there's a
ဟိုဘောက်စီ
push
ဘတ်ချာကိုကြည့်လိုက်
in.
လုတ်ချက်တေးဆိုအပေါ်မှာ
This is
တောက်လျှောက်
kinda
သူ
like
ဟုတ်
you
တင်နေပဲ
should
တတ်တာ
warp
အခုအောက်လန်းထက်
this
ရောက်
gate
နေ
at
ပြန်ပြီ
4 minutes, maybe even
ဆွဲ
between
တော့မယ်
2 and 4 minutes. Omar hasn't had the chance to drop that ward down, and now this punch
ပါ
is
သွား
going
ပြန်
to
ပြီ
strike from
တွေ့
the
လား
darkness.
ဘောက်စီ
Goes
ဟု
for the
ကြီးက
straight up
ကောင်း
hook
နေ
onto
ရအောင်
the
ယေ
room, and this Mars is definitely going down.
wow
They just haven't had the chance to drop that ward on the gate. and,
တွေ့လားတိုဖူးတဲ့
that costs
ဘတ်ချာတော့ဒီလိုကန်ရတယ်
They're crushing these side lanes. And the puck
Can you
is
think, yeah.
losing, but I think I can't count on my fingers and toes together how many games I've seen Nisha struggle in the mid lane as a puck and then completely dominate the game, especially if his side lanes are going perfectly, and they are literally going amazing in this one. They are crushing them so much.
Yeah,
Now they
luckily
want
you got
Sumail as
all
well.
your luckily you got all your fingers and toes still remaining, otherwise I'd be worried. Is that a good statistic or not? Sumail getting some pressure as Boxy is here, but he's standing under vision, so Sumail is well aware. Constantly positioning himself between the Siege Creep and the Pudge's hook.
Yeah, now they're gonna be aware that there's probably a ward around there in the mid lane. It is actually right in the middle, so he was constantly just spotting him moving around. But that would have been a pretty bad. If they do grab him, so I can understand why Boxy went for it. It is a low chance of success. Your early game is just
Supports are starting to roam towards the mid lane. You've got the Boxy coming in from the top. You have Tofu also approaching bottom, but that's an arcane for Sumail. He's not a bottle carrier, so they're going to try and go for a kill here onto Tofu. Just need to line up that dead shot. They're going to right-click this Snapfire and bring him straight in. And with that, Noob throwing in the spear, gets a kill, gets Mickey's courier.
Dominator in the
top lane simultaneously.
Which plane am I sorrow? Sumail Dominator, I'm a Bayuno.
There's a kill.
Muleda Dominator, yeah, Balu.
Of the
သူပုံမှန်စောင့်နေကြအတိုင်းပဲ power track သိရမလားဗါလေ wish play
roaming the map for quite a long
အဲ့လိုတွေသွားမှာနော်
from these creeps that are coming
point dominator
level 6 brew
ဟို dominator ကြီးက short ခံတာပါဗါလေ
for a steal
running into Omar. He'll keep his distance for now. Maybe try to bamboozle him. No, he's actually going to turn around. The dire scan's going to be there just in case too. They'll be able to secure that wisdom rune.
You didn't have anything to do with the Juggernaut, so what you're hoping for with that kind of a move is maybe to make somebody panic and TP, force out a rotation. And as a Juggernaut, you're pretty safe. You're just going to spin and move away. I mean, he also has the phase boots. And there's the level 6 on the brew.
Yeah, man, they got Dominator မသွားဘူး which play သွားတာ Dominator မထည့်ဘူး
you definitely have an opportunity to kill him.
Power track which play လားမသိဘူးနော်
Dominator on the brew, Dominator on the Muerta.
Dominator သွားလို့လား
We're going to have the defusal queued up on the Lone Druid, not too far off of it.
which play မဟုတ်လား
Still has had a pretty decent farm pace here in the top lane, knowing you're going up against that Brewmaster. You're still ahead, even if...
နောက် TI မှာသွားခဲ့တယ်ဆိုရင်တော့အခုမသွားသင့်တော့ဘူးကွာသိလား
It's because Ace
အခုမသွားသင့်တော့ which play တန်းထည့်တာကောင်းပါတကယ်ဆို
able to play pressure with the Enchantress against
ဒီလောက်
but he's still ahead by like 600
တော့
gold.
ခံတာတဲ့ဟာ
So all things good on that department. Muerta also 600 gold ahead of the puck.
Has the helm of the
Classic
Dom
Sumail
already.
things.
Pretty much. And with this Dom, you can pressure towers a bit. So apart from the Enchantress, the Lone Druid is not going to be pushing early on. But so apart from the Enchantress, you don't have good ways to open up the tier 1s just yet. But Sumail with the lane that he has had with the creep, he should be able to pressure some towers.
Power ပါဝါပြန်ပြီ Boxy
right in.
ဆွဲတိုင်းတစ်ခေါက်ဆွဲတစ်ခေါက်ပါရအောင်
heroes around. Boxy's had a good percentage on these hooks so far. 6 flesh heap stacks. Mickey's courier dying again. So wasn't too long since the previous kill, and now it's dead. Cornucopia.
လုံးdruid က level 6 မတင်ထားသေးဘူးနော် level 6 မတင်ထားသေးဘူးပါဝါရင် short လောက်တယ်
The Lone Druid and fighting around the top lane is a big deal. If Nigma starts TPing one by one, a Brewmaster is just gonna murder them all. Ghost, he can skill his ulti if he wants to. He did save a skill point.
Trying to get
ပါဝါ ပါဝါ
They can't kill the either, so they're gonna let this one slide. Bottom lane, Jug forced out the spin TP. The arena Mars was about to approach. But Toby's gonna get some work done here with the skeleton boys. Fortunately, those run out and they force the glyph, and all of their damage basically goes into invulnerability. Snap coming through the gate, and so is the Pudge. They just can't TP their Jug in here, but I'd be wondering if Nisha is curious about teleporting in yet. He's not too far off the Blitz Knuckles.
Arena
popped. We'll catch the Pudge.
ပြရဖို့ mana မလောက်ဘူး
Is he killing the Pudge? Doesn't look like it. Okay, that hook will not connect on any heroes. He was trying to look for the Mars. That's the hero they're going to be focusing on. Noob's got all of his spells on cooldown. Does get the bonk out just in time, but ends up getting stunned by one of the Bruling Rocks. And Ace, unfortunate for him. Yeah, he's AFK at the Twin Gate. His ulti ran out as all of the Brewlings were trying to go through, so it also interrupted his channel. So he thought he was going through the gate, and I was like, wait, why am I still here? Happens.
Definitely not. Yeah, definitely not what you wanted to see. But Liquid are still ahead, and the main thing is their juggernaut is.
Nigma mid tower မရသေးရသူတို့အတွက်အဓိကပြဿနာဖြစ်နေတာအဲ့ mid tower ကြီးကို
and Mickey is gonna have it.
Liquid ကာနေတာတော်တော်ကောင်း
is a type of hero that can pretty much win this game without much pushback. He also don't
အခု
have
လည်း
many
တိုဖူး
things
လည်း
to,
စစ်သုံးလိုက်
to kill his healing worth.
ကာလို့ရတယ်ဒါမသုံးသေးဘူးအေးသုံးပြီပြောရင်ဆိုရင် level 6
Get done here with
ဟုတ်တယ် level 6သုံးလိုက်မချိုးွားသေးဘူး mid က
has killed Mickey's courier again. How does this keep on happening? He is not getting that cornucopia like ever.
ဒီကမှာသူတို့ကစားကွက်ကိုဖွင့်ဆော့လို့မရဘူးဖြစ်နေတာဝါတိုင်းမှမရသေးဘူးအန်ချန်ကြီးပါပြီးတော့တာဝါတိုင်းမှမရဘူးဖြစ်နေ liquid ဆော့နေတာကောင်းတယ်ကွာ
You do want to get that Battle Fury would have been
ကိုနားလေးလည်းနဲ့ထိန်းလိုက်ဒီနားလေးနဲ့ထိန်းလိုက်သိရမှာပြင် mid tower ကိုကြာရင်အားသုံးပြီးကာတယ်
meaning he doesn't
တော့
have
အဲ့လို mid tower ကာဖို့အတွက်ကိုအမြဲတမ်း ready ဖြစ်နေတယ်ဒီကောင်လေးလူတွေက
which is 25 seconds and have a 60-second cooldown. You've probably slowed down this Battle Fury an extra 30 seconds or maybe even a full minute because he's never picked up the components. Now they're chasing Ace and top. He's got no split.
body block ထားတယ်စုမေးကို body block ထားတယ်အနောက်မှာ skeleton အနေနဲ့ကောင်းတယ်ကွာ
The Brewmaster in time.
သူမေးလုံးဝ dash shot လာပစ်လို့မရဘူးအကောင်လေးနဲ့ပိတ်နေတယ်
He'll get pushed back still. You don't want to allow him to stay in the top lane for too long, and if he's deep in your jungle, that is a big problem. So even if you're not killing him, pushing him out of the top lane is actually a big deal. But Panda chat is saying that my microphone is not sounding good, so I have to check if.
That's all right. You can take a look on that. You sound fine to me. So maybe there's some.
Silent me, why?
You bringing in that voice of God, you know. I could also do some tuning on my end if we wanted to.
ဒီရှာအားချောင်းနေခြင်းမင်းမှာဆော့ဆော့ silent ကြီးပိတ်ပြီးတော့
source is good.
သေမလို့ဖြစ်နေတဲ့အချိန်မှာသူ့ border ထဲမှာ illusion rune ရှိတယ်မတုံးတာ
Is
What
that
don't
what
I
it
have?
sounds like?
That's what I sound.
ခန့်တာလို့
Ah,
I'm
okay.
just toying with you. I'm just toying with you. They're all good. 9-4 on the scoreboard. 12 minutes in. Let's see what's going to be coming up in the
လူတော်အတန်တွေထွက်လာတော့
minutes of play because we do have that diffusal.
border ရဲ့ stand ပါဘူးတဲ့လိုတော့မလိုဘူး mass ရဲ့
probably
မူရေးတားရရှိရယ်
PDE end things.
ပြင် silent နဲ့အဆင်ပြေပါတယ်အရင်မလို့ mass reader ထဲမှာအကုန်လုံးရိုက်တက်လို့တော့ရ
maybe pressure the puck, but
ပြောပြီ
let's be honest, you're probably going to hit the puck once or twice and he's always going to escape. Meanwhile, they got themselves Muerta caught inside a coil, but
တိုဖူက level 6သုံးလို့မရဘူးဘာလို့ဆူမေးရဲ့ဝါချီကသူ့ကိုလိုက်ခုန်နေ level 6သုံးပြီဆိုတာနဲ့ဖြတ်မှာဆူမေးက
that primal split right on top of the Skyrant mage. You're not getting your
နှစ်ဖက်လုံးရဲ့ play တွေอ่ะနော်ဟုတ်တယ်နောက်ဆုံးလာပြီအမှ
with the Enchantress bringing in the Wildwing Ripper to
ခု
push
ပါသွားပြီ mass arena မထွက်သွားသေးဘူး
and Noob has still not used
ထွက်
that
သွားပြီ
arena.
နောက်ဆုံး
There we go.
ဘချာကို spear ကျွေးထားတယ်
Foxy zones him out, but Nigma Galaxy, they are all very
Yeah,
low on HP.
မသေးသေးဘူးတကောင်မှ
Damaged at this point.
သူမင်းနောက်ဆုံးရှော့ပြီ
Getting hit by the full duration Omni Slash, and they'll take down Sumail. The hook will not connect on Ghost Spare, but Mickey will stand right in front and give a bit of body block, hoping they might have the damage for
Yeah,
it.
he's mau
As
gong mi,
Noob
Nigma
will
mau
die
gong mi.
on the side. Nisha was able to snipe him down, and as they are still retreating, that bear still looks like it's a goner.
Uh-oh.
A couple more HP.
Oh,
There
yeah.
we go. The urn finishes it off. And they'll also get rid of the Dominator creep, so an extra bit of money picked up
I can
for
understand.
Liquid.
I can understand why Nigma wanted to fight in that bottom lane. There's no tower of the enemies, and you're like, okay, they're not gonna be able to bring in enough heroes in time. But Liquid, they respond with all of their heroes, and you didn't have to pierce the veil there. So because it was on cooldown, the Jugger just comes in and he cuts down the Muerta. That is your
Liquid
pretty
ဒီ
much
line က
strongest
ပူစရောင်းတယ်
hero.
လို့
Not
မြင်
the one
တယ်
who has the most farm right now.
Ace
but the
နဲ့
Muerta was the
Saber
one that
လိုက်
was
ကတော့
controlling the lane
Ace က
phase
ပိုကောင်းပါတယ်
especially
ဟိုကောင်က
for
brew
Nigma
မာသားတွေ
Galaxy.
ပါတွေ
Now
ထိ
he
ရ
just gets taken out.
Ace က
So you definitely don't feel too good as
Saber
Nigma,
လိုက်
and
ကြ
you
တော့
would
nice
most
တော့
likely
ကာ
want
တို့
to get a
အဲ့
fight
လို
immediately and get something going,
they're
but
gonna
without
try.
the blink dagger,
ဘာတို့ပေါ့နော် And a lot.
The dual spear, there's going to be a rough
Silence?
one. They get the stun
Got
out
him.
first into the silence follow-up, and the hook coming out from the Pudge is not going to do any good. So, as you're saying, they want to go for an instant play. They do exactly that. And they were instantly moving towards Liquid. Find the pickoff that they wanted. That's the first step.
အဲ့ mass ပြရတွေ ပြစ်တက်ရ
Also,
င်
a quick
ပတ်
reminder for the
ပတ်
folks
ဥလို့
watching
မရ
at home or wherever you
ကော
are
င်း
right
ကောင်း
now.
လေဘော်
FISSURE
တင်တာနဲ့
Universe
တွဲ
will
ပြီး
be
သုံးရင်
followed
ဘက်က
by
လုံးဝ
FISSURE
ဥလို့မရ
Playground 2's LAN event in Belgrade, Serbia on October 31st to November 2nd. Exclamation mark ticket is your command to write into chat or click the banner below the stream to head over to the website. Get yourself some tickets to the $1 million LAN event played in Serbia.
Nigma Galaxy, they have to get back into this game and do it quickly before the Juggernaut gets his Manta, because that's when you can kill him. If you just allow him to farm like this, it's gonna turn into a problem. And they want to fight top. Mickey setting up.
Ace mana မရှိဘူး mana မရှိဘူး
Once
Ace
again, Omar seems like he's going to be the
Ace is dying.
အော် that shot ကောင်းတယ်
what's the word I was
Quasity,
looking for?
quasity.
Yeah, Ace goes down in bottom. Sumail Toby able to make a secondary play happen as they followed up in top, killing that Snapfire. They were making a secondary move down the bottom lane. That was a word I was looking for, but I don't remember the exact translation. It's something like
ဘူဒေတာကို
decoy,
okay နဲ့ဆော့လဲ
but,
မိုက်လာတာ okay ထည့်
let's
ပြီး
just
ပြ
call
စ်
him a decoy at that point.
Okay.
The Skywrath mage. He's
လူတော့မ
kinda
လို့
like,
ကွာနော်
well,
okay
I'm
သူ
a
့မှာ
support,
silent ကြီး
fine,
ပါ
you
ပြီး
can
သား
kill
ဆို
me
okay
if
တော့
you
ထည့်
want.
ကြအောင်မလို့
I'll let my allies live.
ကောင်းဆုံးက wish play ထည့်ရင်တည်းမထည့်ရင် chain 2ထည့်
But they did get a trade going, so 2 for 1.
သူမရတော့ wish play ကြိုက်တယ်လောလောဆယ်တော့ဒီကောင် miss လီယာကြီးအရင်ထည့်ထားတယ်ကွာ miss လီယာ
Nicely placing Sumail's army in between.
Maybe
so this
drink
looks gonna be very
wine.
difficult for Boxy to
okay
connect.
မလုပ်သေးဘူး
A lot of skeletons, the Dark Troll Summoner, and also Toby with his own creep. Though Toby, dangerous territory. Does see the sentry down on the ground. He'll go for it instantly. He's already lost half of his HP to all of his magical spells. Finally starts to regenerate. Has the Solar Crest. Okay, there's the Mortimer's Kisses. We're not taking any prisoners today, are we?
အန်ချန်အဲ့ဒါတော့မသေးချင်းသေးချင်းနဲ့နောက်ဆုံး hook ဆွဲပြီးသေသွားတာ
Into dangerous areas. And
X silent
Brewmaster
ဝင်
can
နေ
get
တယ်
his Primal
X
splits off as he's feared
split
and
လို့မရဘူး
silenced over and over again. So Nigma will get a good trade going from that Brewmaster and apply
အဲ့ဘာ
pressure.
လို့လဲလေဘောကိုယ့်အကိုတင်ပါအဲ့မိခဲဝင်လာပြီဟိုမှာဂျာကားနောက်စူမင်းနောက်လိုက်တော့လှဲ့နေဒါပေမဲ့ तू မခံနိုင်တော့ဘူးထွက်ပြေးပြီကွာ
They get the hook.
ဒီဘက်မှာလုံးရုကရှော်သွားပြီ
For another kill for Liquid and Seth.
ဟဲ့အော်ဘလို့ဗျမ်းမထားကြီးသွားနေရလေ
Boxy
Oh,
gets the
power,
hook,
hey.
and that's Sumail dead. Tofu picks up the double kill from
ဘက်ကကြာပြီလေအဲ့ဒါဟိုက racing ကနေ
That is a huge trade again for
level 1 level 1 तू က passive တွေ
I don't know
ကြော
how
င်းလို့
they
ရ
saw
တယ်လေ
that Muerta. I thought that they didn't have the angle for him, but he flashed for a second. We saw there because Observer was moving to the Radiant camera, and the Muerta flash TPing in that in those trees. Then it turned out
Aussie
to be
bachaကြီးရလဲ
an
ကွာ
optimistic TP out. Nigma Galaxy as soon
ဆိုဆိုက
as they
လုံးသူ
lose
ကြီးကို
this,
တတ်သွားတာလေ
this
အဲ့လို
mage, it
ဆွဲ
becomes a
ပြီးတတ်
problem
သွား
for
တာ
them.
ပဲ
They cannot control the
လုံးသူ
top.
ဆွဲ
They
ပြီးတ
cannot
တ်တယ်
control
ရှော့
the
တယ်
juggernaut.
ပြီးတော့
Lucky
မူ
for
ရီ
them,
တာ
they
လဲ
did
စောစောက
bring
death
down
speed ထဲမှာ
Ace
ဝင်နေအောင်
early
ထက်
on.
ဆွဲတယ်
They
ထက်ရှော့
expected
သွား
Ace
တယ်
to go for a fight, but he's going Radiant. So this is
Impact
gonna be
MVP
very
တောင်
good
ဖြစ်
for
နိုင်တယ်
Liquid.
ဒီ
After
ပွဲ
that
ပြီးရင်
kill,
အကယ်လို့
once
liquid
he
သာ
gets
နိုင်
a
သွား
fight,
ခဲ့
oh man, the
ဘာချာ MVP ပဲ
Nigma Galaxy
Full
lineup are
drag
gonna
out.
be losing a huge chunk of their
ဘိန်း
damage.
အပေါ်လိန်ရောအောက်လိန်ရော तू နှောက်သွား mid lane ပဲမနှောက်တာ
Coming top. Omar, he's a bit hesitant, but Noob would maybe
မစ်
like
ကို
to
တော့ तू
fight
သွားမ
though.
ဆွဲ
They
ဘူး
know
ခု
that the primal
အချိန်
split
ကုန်မှာ
is
ဆို
slow
လို့ထင်
down.
တယ်
Ace is going to be a pretty tricky
ကဲလို့
grab
မစ်ကို
here,
သွား
so,
ဆွဲလို့အဲ့လို
Nigma
မမိ
will
လို့ရှိရင်
call
အ
off
ချိန်
the
ဆောင်
attempt
ကုန်
on the top lane.
အဲ့ကြောင့် तू အောက်လိန်ပဲသွားပြီးဆွဲတာ
And yeah, you got to watch out for this puck right now. 80 rune in the bottle. Witchblade, blink. This puck is deadly right now. Nope. Charging in onto the Liquid side of the map.
အဲ့မှာစကိုင်းနဲ့
Yeah, the spear.
Oh.
Nicely dodges the hook.
စကိုင်းကွန်ဘိုစကိုင်းကွန်ဘိုမထုတ်လိုက်ရဘူးဘက်က
Unleash at least.
silent ဆွဲပြီးထားတယ်အိုး what the fuck ဘက်က silent ဆွဲပြီးထားတယ်ပြတ်သွား
Nisha changing that fight so much. He just jumped in the middle of it.
ဘယ်တယ်မမြင်လိုက်ရဘူးဘယ်တယ်မမြင်လိုက်ရဘူး
So he only got the silence.
ဘယ်တယ်ကနေကမှကြာသွားတာကွာ
Snapfire was able to survive for so long. Snapfire survives for a long time.
He shot
Coming
about-
from Liquid.
Tension
They are
top.
always able to respond.
တော်တော်
with
နှိမ့်
extra
သွားပြီ
numbers.
ဒီအနေထား
This
no
comes
fight ကြီး
from a small play that they make.
Yeah,
Either it's
they-
a hook back, either it's a silence, but they always make their heroes live just a couple of seconds longer. I mean, Liquid are just playing out of their minds.
Yeah, they're definitely in a good form right now. I do hope that Nigma Galaxy is still gonna hit their timings, find a good momentum going their way, because I felt like maybe there's a slight.
ဒီအနေထားလို့ဆိုရင်တော့
desperation
Nigma
there,
ဟိုဟာ
but
လောက်တော့
they
မှာ
definitely
ပို
still
ကွက်
have
လောက်
a
တော့
lot of tools at their
လုံးသလူ
disposal. I'm
အ
still
ပြာကြောင်းကွက်
for the big threat of this.
လုံးလူအပြာကြောင်းထည့်ပြီးတော့တောက်လျှောက်ပတ်တွန်းတဲ့အကွက်လောက်တော့မယ်ထင်တယ်
for quite a long time, and Liquid's damage output against this Muerta sure, you can try to burst her down. You've got a Mage Slayer to go up against, so extra magic resistance. You're in Pierce the Veil, so you're in ethereal form. So magic damage going into Muerta. How much do you have that in the bank? You can never use because she'll just pierce the veil. Nothing as Mickey. So he'll rather use that army, and later on that Swift Slash probably on somebody else. Or maybe you could Swift Slash to force the pierce the veil. That's quite a big of a cooldown. If you can then try to disengage, how does Nigma respond to that?
It's gonna be hard for them to do so at all. So it's actually a really good positioning right now for Liquid. But with that being said, all of these fights that they made, I think a lot of them are gonna be making it onto our official social media. !F into chat, everybody, or with the banner down below. You're gonna go to Linktree and you can go and follow every single one of them. We've got a lot of them in there.
Yep, there's some TikTok brain rot out there as well for you to grab. So definitely head over there. I'm a different level brain rot enjoyer. I think when it comes to like the old internet memes, somebody could say,
Nuga fight or yawa. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
Packets of berry. Settle can I want it?
They refer back to the brain rot of our childhood. You know, so I was like,
Sumia, Piajang Duania, which lame Doro.
Some fun good here.
That's
No more Piajang.
Not gonna lie.
Okay, so you're fully on that. Okay, sure. I guess it's just a term we use these to categorize different areas. I was more of the YTP type of person. I'm pretty sure somebody can agree with me on that. I was always into a bit of potty humor. Win probability even at this time.
Sabudali, the Ghanaian team, Londu Waga, I think, the lane to Nalena, but don't be nine. I got Moose Benezo.
Yep, burns to a crisp.
I work with that any Mianima.
Burn those wings.
For the helm of the Doms.
One outline.
Nigma might have a different approach to this game.
Who don't Salon Navy? One it, Sumi, Dominate, Salon Navy.
But I don't think it's gonna work too much, right?
Honestly, Harry?
Domida, Kriya.
I don't think it's a new approach.
Hey, Nolino Miaro, Muspi short.
Quite a lot.
What Bemoliam?
In this game, if your game is going well, sure, but if the game is going
badly,
hope that you're gonna be able to find the Scarlet Mage and not shove out the waves. That's why.
I think they're just not taking the risk of fighting right now and just try to dodge, try to get those item timings.
26 rounds 25 26
the Lone Druid Bear in the front.
What do you I think ma?
Which is
how
we actually have won a lot of games with this Lone Druid lineup is just don't fight. Even with all the nukes that you have, you just don't take the risk. You lose a fight, Liquid's coming on your high ground.
Which play do Tomula? Tomura what?
Lineup, all you need is one
two Terali, Murida Miko, which play in a bit.
But definitely hard to get out on the map this time.
To tell Munira. Murida chain to Hurricane by Hello Solar. I'm assuming which lane is all.
You can still come up your high ground. Like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna kill this thing?
Murida special modifier
high ground glyph used on Nigma. There's a 5-minute period for Liquid to try and take a lane of racks potentially. Maybe with the Axe. With the Aegis on the puck. Nice attempt on a hook there by Boxy. Doesn't quite catch the target though. TP's out. Sumail also on the retreat. He's finished his Ags. So now you have this. We saw some pretty cool Ags Muerta interactions. I think if it wasn't yesterday, at least someday during the group stage, where you're like one dead shot just fears 4 people because it's flying between everybody. They all take the damage.
It's a big
item. And with the shard,
like Penny,
at some point, I mean, Sumail might not have the shiniest game going. He's still 4-3-3, so you're gonna get some benefit out of that shard at some stage of the game.
Wow, nice.
Nice use of the Yules there.
Unfortunately,
Boxy Pudge. So Liquid will find a pick once again on the map.
He actually could have TP'd
I
out
think
there,
my
he went
Chagana
for it instantly.
fly.
I think he hesitated for a second after the Yules. He used the Yules and then he turned around, waited a bit, and then went for it. And that is that half a second that could have allowed him to get out in time. But I get it. You don't have an idea that you're gonna TP out instantly. It just comes to your head. Oh, they don't have any stuns. Let's attempt at this one, and it allows for Boxy to get into position with the Pudge and the blink.
High ground ကလည်းစူမင်းပြကြောင်းလဲဆိုတော့ကာလို့ရမယ်ထင်တာပဲ
That looked like he did.
နော်38မိနစ်တော့
teleport home.
ဆော့သွားလိုက်ပါ
He sent a target
ကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်
teleport somewhere else. That's causing the hero to
liquid
turn.
အထားမထားဘူးကစွတ်တက်ဖို့လုပ်
That was the time needed. You know, Dota and the mechanics are a bit of a bitch sometimes when you have turn rate added into the game. But luckily, we have it in this video game because it adds for some interesting interactions. As Nisha caught by the first fear.
Oh, silent
ends up being
win
right on
wow,
top of him, but Nisha's able to blink away to safety.
ကားဖို့ပြင်းနေသေးတယ်ဟာ
Catch.
Nigma
I don't know what the path for that Nisha courier was, but that was quite.
မချသင့်ဘူးလို့တော့ထင်တယ်ဒီ fight မှာသူတို့ကြာသွားရင်ဟိုဘက်မက2လမ်းလောက်ယူသွားမှာအနည်းဆုံး
Target of hate.
တော့မချသင့်ဘူး
15 minutes.
အေးဂျစ်ပေးထားတဲ့ဘတ်တေးကွာနောက်ပြီး second tower ကြီးမှာမချသင့်ဘူး high ground မချသင့်တယ်
Going down that battle here, he needs
မှား
that
သွားတယ်အဲ့2လမ်းပဲပွင့်သွား
the
မှာ
curveball.
ဟမ်ဘတ်ဖို့
See,
chance အောင်
the
ရှိတော့မှာ
ancient
မဟုတ်
camp has been cleaned up.
ဒါကနဲ့ကြီးက flying နဲ့ကွာ
Holding
ပြီး
onto
တော့
the right side of the lane.
အေး
Going for the push again.
ပေးလိုက်ပါပေးလိုက်ပါတော့အဲ့ tower ကို
We'll try and get something here. Omar is on the edge of that coil, getting a stun out.
အေးဂျစ်ကြီးနဲ့ဟိုကအေးဂျစ်ဖြုံးနေတာဒီကောင်လေး
Can they follow up on anything?
ဖ
Sumail
တ်
has
တော့
a
မှာ
headshot.
okay that shot ဒါပေမဲ့ဆူမင်းက
And
BKB
off
အာ
first,
နီရှာ
so he's able
BKB
to
ကြီး
dodge
ထားတ
this
ယ်
one.
okay
Foxy will not go into a hook
အော်
position.
ကြိုက်ခံ
He
ရပြီ
just
ကွာ
goes straight for the spirit bear that will try to hit him
Oh,
in the
Arena,
back too.
Sabia,
Does hit the
Naka,
Arena.
hold on, hold
That's a
it.
two-man spear stun onto
Hold
the
on,
punch,
hold it.
onto the
Bowsy
Brewmaster.
in show
Brewmaster
abi.
trying to get that
Da gane
penalty
only
off,
slap
but he's
POV
silenced
yaw,
for
eh.
such a damn long time by the
Oh
Sky
that shot နဲ့
Wrath.
နှကောင်ပြောက်သွားတယ်ဟိုကလေးပေါ်ထပ်တင်ထားသေးတယ် Private Spirit မထွက်သွားဘူးရကောင်းနေရအောင်ရေးဘတ်တင်ဆိုင်သွားတာကြီးက
Get split down into the ground.
What a play
I get 3.
Well played
Slash not really doing much in.
ကိုကတော့မချသေးချင်ဘူးဒါပေမဲ့
Why is this fight so important?
တက်တာဝါရှိရောက်တော့သူတို့ပြန်တန်း round သွားတာလေးကလှတယ်နော်ဖောင်တစ်ခုပွင့်သွားတာ
outside of the base.
တန်ကွေး
They
ဖောင်
don't have any more tier 2 towers. This is still bad that you don't have any
Okay,
other
go.
towers to play with. But if there was ever a
Ah,
moment
wow.
to just get something
Easy.
back for yourself in the
Easy
last
money.
possible chance, it is this one.
You take a look at
နီ
the
ရှာ
card.
လုံးလာကြောင်လဲပါမလားလို့နော်
First
စကိုင်းကို
blown
အ
up.
ရန်ဝင်တက်လိုက်တာ
Understand, like, this is an okay move
ပြီးရင်
right
ဒီ
here. Look at Ghost
ကောင်က
Spirit
လည်း
in Toby's
ကိုမ
position.
ခွဲဘူးစောစီးမခွဲဘူး
As they
ပြီးတော့
miss on that BKB.
သူစောစီးမခွဲတာကြောင့်လဲပါတယ်အဲ့မှာအကုန်ရှုပ်
Sends the
ကုန်
bear in onto the back line.
အာဒီအခုတည်းကမခွဲသေးဘူးကြည့်သူမချသေးဘူးထင်ပြီးတော့မခွဲဘူးအဲ့မှာ arena နဲ့ that shot နဲ့ speed တောက်လျှောက်တွေဝင်တာဆိုတာပြီးတော့ sign line ထပ်ဝင်သွားတယ်
How long is he silenced for?
Also,
ကြာကြီးပဲ
well,
Did
for
he
6
Omni
seconds.
slash? Did he
Yeah, he omni
appear
slashed
to
in the
fail?
arena. Yeah. No, he omni slashed in the arena.
Oh,
and
in
it
the
just
arena,
stopped.
right? Yeah. So we got that interaction
Ah,
that
yeah.
we've been going on about, and I
အဲ့
didn't
ချက်
even
ချင်းပြန်
notice.
ရှုံးသွားပြီလား
But
ဟုတ်လေတိုင်း
definitely
တို့
pick that one up. So yeah.
over တာ
with the
တေးကြပြီဆိုမှနော်
victory
ဗတ်တယ်ကြ
passed
ဖို့
on
ဖြစ်လာ
Mars,
ပြီ
if
လားမ
you
သိဘူး
omni slash when arena is up and you have enough attack speed in your inventory, you slash once. And it
yeah.
ends. Literally one slash and you're back down on the ground. So they still haven't fixed this. I've posted this on my Twitter. I listed on my Twitter. You can check the whole list of bugged interactions with Victory Feast on Mars. Go check that out. This is literally one of them.
arena နဲ့
I
omni slash နဲ့က
yesterday
ဗတ်နေတာတဲ့
saw, there was a post about some
arena ကို
hotfixes.
omni slash ပိုင်း
So I
မိ
thought
သွား
that
တယ်တဲ့
they probably
ကိုမမြင်လိုက်ဘူး
targeted
မကန်စတာတွေ
the
ပြောနေ
Mars, but no, this
အဲ့ဟာ
is
မပြင်ရသေးဘူးဆိုပဲ
So listen to me, Panda. This is
သိတော့မသိဘူးကို
definitely
ကြီး
intended to be in
အဲ့
the
ကြောင့်
game,
စောစော
and
ပတ်တယ်ဒီကောင်
just,
omni slash တော့ကူးတောင်းလဲသွားတယ်
Right.
နေကမာဘက်ကောင်တွေတကောင်မှသွေးမရောဘူး
So,
ဘာဖြစ်သွားတာလဲ
So,
Hold on, what
you know,
Joe?
abilities like Lion can't Mana Drain because nothing happens. The spell doesn't go on cooldown. Skywrath actually is another bugged hero against the Mars. This time it's with the Mars. If you press on your concussive shot in the arena, you'll just see a flicker of light. The spell goes on cooldown and no projectile ever flies. No damage gets taken. OS Frog, by the way. Yeah, that's totally intended. Might sound a bit salty, but I just want this fixed. Because this hero is kind of game breaking with this facet choice. No wonder everyone's picking up Victory Feast because it's so good right now.
Yeah, one of the reasons for people who don't understand it back in home why Panda got into this. I want to check all the
ဒီခေ
interactions
အေ
since he lost the pump because
း
of
စိုက်
that.
စပီယာကြီးစိုက်ဝိုင်း
Because that
သေသွားမှာ
arena,
နော်အနောက်မှာစကိုင်းက
he's
ready
trying
ပဲ
to
စူမီ
get
က
it
လည်း
fixed.
ready ပဲ
And his MMR
Might
back, of
have
course.
actually been a game where I actually played the Mars, and somebody was like, "Yeah, I can't use my Rubik lift in that."
အဲ့နဲ့
Meanwhile,
ဝင်
they're
သွား
gonna
ပြီ
be fighting in the top lane
Ace
of
အ
the
ရင်
Brewmaster
ရှော့သွား
once
ပြီအောင်
again.
ရေးကောင်းတယ်နော်
Perma
ဖြတ်တာတွေက
can't get the split off
အရင်
again.
နေကမှာမဟုတ်တော့ဘူး
He'll
တကောင်တကောင်
need
ဖြတ်ရင်
that
အဲ့လို
engage. He's going for
ဟိုကအပြက်တွေ
Manta
ကြီးပဲ
by the looks of it, so that's a good tool, but
အရာမကတွေဖြတ်တာ
BKB
ဒီမှာတူဖူးတကောင်ထပ်မိတာသေးတယ် Arena
relying on that primal
တော်
split
သွားပြီ
through.
ဗျာ Arena
That is a whiff of an Arena. They'll still keep up the chase onto Nisha. That spear will not quite connect, but it's an attempt made. And Nigma Galaxy, a Tormentor is theirs for the taking as they finish off just one kill from that fight. It is the Ace Brewmaster.
ဘလို့ဘတ်တာလဲတဲ့ဒီကောင်လေးပြောသွားတော့ Arena ထဲမှာ Vision မမြင်ရတာ
Let's see if
မဟုတ်ဘူးဒီကောင်အခုယူတာ Vision မမြင်ရတဲ့ဟာမဟုတ်ဘူး Victory Feast ဆိုတဲ့ဟာယူထားတာ Victory Feast က Arena ထဲမှာ enemy hero တေလို့ရှိရင် Mars ကသွေးမှန်တာတက်တာ အဲ့ဒီဟာနဲ့ဘတ်နေတယ်ပြောတယ်ဒီကောင်ပြောရတဲ့ပုံစံအရဆိုရင်ပါလေ Arena ကိုခုတ်မိတယ်ဆိုလားပဲ
It's
အချက်ခုတ်ပြီးရနဲ့
always fun.
ရင်ကြီးတော့ရောက်သွားတယ်မှတော့ဒီကောင်ယူတာ Victory Feast တွေ့တာအဲ့ဒါ Arena ထဲမှာ Vision ပျောက်တဲ့ဟာမဟုတ်
Where's
ဘူး
the Lone Druid? And he's
အဲ့ဟာနဲ့ဘတ်နေတယ်လို့ပြောသွားဒီကောင် Twitter မှာတင်ထားတယ်တဲ့အဲ့ဟာဘာညာပေါ့နော်
Right, yes.
ဥတိုင်းမ fix သေးဘူးတဲ့
You don't feel that bad in a way.
ပြီးတော့နောက်တစ်ခုဘတ်တာပါဒီကောင်ထည့်ပြောသွားသေးတယ် Sky One နဲ့လည်းဘတ်နေတယ်ပြောတယ် Sky One
means a lot more to
Sky
you.
One ကတော့တိတ်နားမလဲဘူးဒီကောင်ပြောတာ level 2
Stop all of
သုံး
the
လို့
points
ရှိ
on
ရ
the
င်
map if that bear
အဲ့လိုဒါပေမဲ့မ
disappears.
ထိဘူးဆိုလားပဲ
But if you lose your hero, it means that you won't be able to spawn another bear. But
အဲ့ဒါတော့
finding
မျက်လုံး
the
ထဲမ
actual
ပေါ်ဘူးသူ
hero
ပြောတာ
while the enemy has such a good pushing lineup, hence why they've made all these dominators. Might be a game where Ghost just doesn't.
Mars
die.
Arena ထဲမှာအဲ့
The bear
Sky
will die,
level
but the
2
hero probably won't.
ဝင်သွားလို့ရှိရင် Arena ကိုဖြတ်ယူဝင်သွားရင်ဒါပေမဲ့မထိဘူးဆိုလား
So getting into the back lines, that is quite huge. If you can make sure that the Skywrath Mage is not a part of the fight, it really changes a lot. This last pick, Skywrath Mage, just glues the lineup of Nigma Galaxy so nicely, and it really does counter a lot of these liquid heroes. I'm looking at the Brewmaster thinking, when is he gonna be finishing off his Manta? And I think it's flying out
It's on the courier
now. Yep.
And Mars
Much
also
needed.
has the
နောက်ဆုံးမ
recipe
ခံစားနိုင်တော့
for
ဘူး Brew က
the
Manta
hex
Stein ထည့်လိုက်ပြီ
and other components for it. Yet
ပိုင်းပြီ
Mickey
ပိုင်း
goes
ပြီ
straight for the Mars. That's a swift
အပိုင်းတာ
slash.
ရိုးရိုးပိုင်းတာပေါ့
Meanwhile,
ဟိုဟာလေး
a
အပြာချောင်း
puzzle
ပိုင်းတာ
use
လေး
of
ဆို
that
တော့တိတ်တော့
one.
ဘာမှမဖြစ်ဘူး
He'll try to sproink even deeper into the trees.
He messed up. Wanted
Try
to
to
go
get to
onto
the
the low
secret
ground.
shop. Yeah.
အားလုံးမသေးချင်းသေးချင်းနဲ့
Anyways. The Juggernaut there with the Swift Slash, he tried to force out the Yules of the
ကဲ
Mars.
33မိနစ်တော့ဖြစ်လာပြီเนาะ another 5 minute ပဲအောက်မှာဝက်ကတွန်းနေပြီတွေ့လားကိုပြောတဲ့အကွက်ပဲအပေါ်လမ်းမှာ second tower ဒီ crit တွေတွန်းနေတယ်အောက်လမ်းမှာလည်း second tower crit တွေတွန်းနေတယ်ဟုတ်ပါဝက်မဟုတ်ဘူးအောင်အောက်လမ်းကဘာကြီးတော့
Than just 1 second.
အောက်လမ်း dominator crit ကွာ
Should be exactly one, but it's
Dominator
not
crit
like
လား
2
ancient crit လားတခုပဲ
Easily,
အောက်လမ်းမှာ
you
မှာ
might
တွန်းနေ
just
တယ်
press Yules, you might just drop an
ဝက်က
Arena
တော်
or
ထဲမှာ
something like that because you
ဟုတ်သေးဘူး
you thought that was the actual Omni Slash. You
အဲ့တော့
gotta be
second
very
Roshan တော့
patient
ယူပြီ
with that 1 second. You're counting in your mind. 1, okay.
ဟာပါသွားပြီ
Be
ဝက်
longer than that. Goes
Uh-oh.
Bear. He's trying to intervene. Does get hit, but the full duration Omni Slash this time around, so that bear is cleaned up. What about the rest of Nigma? There's a spawning Enchantress. They're trying to capture the outpost so that they can bring the Enchantress into the fight. Deadshot into the pit. They still might make it in time.
လာအောင်မှာလာအောင်မှာ dash shot တွေလမ်းလမ်းစပန်းနေတယ်
Doesn't have the blink though. There's a
Silent.
random Satyr in between with the banish available. Sumail gonna get jumped on. Roshan at 900 HP.
Roshan
Still
သွေးကအရန်
not
ကိုင်း
quite
နေပြီ
dead.
နော်
Taking
အမဝက်
damage
လေးဘော်
from
တင်
that
ထားတယ်
mark inside the pit. Nisha and Mickey will force it down. They've got the Aegis down to
Aegis
the ground,
တော့ရ
but
သွား
they couldn't
Aegis က
almost
ပတ်ရ
see because
သွား
they
တာ
were on the dead spot.
Jugger is
But they
caught.
will get it.
Juggerနဲ့
Jugger
အေး
is caught. Does go for the swift
ဟဲ့
slash.
Omni Slash
Onto
တကယ်
Bear. Sumail is coming in from the side. Now they charge onto the high
ကို
ground.
တွေးလိုက်တယ် Omni Slash တကယ်မပိုင်းတာဟဲ့အောင်ကြီး
Drop Boxy's the one who actually
ဒါပေမဲ့လည်း
drops.
ဗဒဲက
And this
နိုင်ပြီ
Juggernaut
ကွာ
continues to survive as they've taken down Ghost.
But
And now the spear
တတ်တော့
onto
ကြာပြီ
Nisha. That's going to
That's
be the
just the
Aegis
Aegis.
gone. And Mars will fall. Toby is standing on top of his
ပြေးလိုက်
friend's
တော့ပြေး
grave
လိုက်တော့
right
ပြေး
now.
လိုက်တော့တာကြီးတို့
Trying to get some damage in.
high ground က
But,
high ground က
Enchantress can only do
နောက်ထပ်
so
4
much.
မိနစ်ပဲလိုတယ်
Already calling the retreat. Sumail is heading over
ကို
to
တွေးလိုက်တယ်
top
Omni
lane.
Slash
Almost
white ကို
the same
ပိုင်းတာ
thing.
arena ထဲမှာခဏလေးပဲပိုင်းလိုက်ရတယ်ပြီးရင်သွားဆန်းရမယ်အဲ့ဘက်က
Make some space, but that's just about it.
I like
Still
that
has a way
Sumail.
down mid.
I like
Dale
that
better
Sumail
nine
decided
hours,
to
shit.
bail there in that fight. It was just before the the bear died. Sumail was maybe using some death shots from afar, but he decided he was never getting back into that engagement. But I'm liking how Liquid are making sure that this bear dies a couple of times. First time when he came in to scout the Roche, and then the second time once you killed the bear, then Nigma Galaxy, they've just lost their carry, and it's actually not that hard.
တိုင်းလည်းပဲသူက arena ကိုဖြတ်သွားရင် animation ပဲရောက်သွားရင်လည်းမထီဘူးဟုတ်တယ်အဲ့လိုပဲပြောရတာဖြစ်မယ်တိတ်မရှင်းလိုက်လို့ဒါမှမထီဘူးဆိုတာတော့သိလိုက်တယ်ဒီလိုမျိုးဖြတ်ပြီးထွက်လာလို့ရှိရင်ဒါမှမထီဘူးတဲ့
Yep.
When you drop it down on the ground. So if you don't have an obs board or if your supports are dead, that banner will give you more than plenty of vision. That was the purpose of the banner, placed down on the ground. You know, you can use the Roche banner to drop a Monkey King down from a tree. It destroys all trees in a 300 radius.
In a pretty big radius, right? Yeah.
ငါတလအဲ့လိုဝက်ကူမတက်ကြီးရက်ပြီးသွားဖြတ်ဟိုမှာဘတ်ချာဆွဲမှာပေါ့ခလေးတောင်တိတယ်ကွာ
Who just respawned a moment ago.
တစ်ချက်ပစ်လိုက်နေရာလေးရွှေ့လိုက်နောက်တစ်ချက်ပစ်လိုက်အဲ့လိုလုပ်ရမှာလေဟာ
You know, sometimes
ခလေးတောင်တိတယ်အဲ့လိုမတက်ကြီးရက်ပြီးပြစ်နေမှာတော့ပါပြီပေါ့လို့
where every hook seems to be landing, and this is one of those games.
နောက်တယ်နော်အန်ချန်နောက်တယ်
Definitely changed the course of the game.
နောက်တယ်2မိနစ်လိုသေးတယ်လို့အမှ4ယောက်5ယောက်ဟိုဘက်ထိုးတက်ပြီးဟာရောင်ရဆူမေးပါသွားတယ်ဖိုးစတက်တိုင်း40သွားပြီးရောင်ရဆူမေးကိုကြိုက်ထားတယ် arena ဆူမေးတေတော့မသေးသေးဘူးဘောက်စီကိုတော့ပြန်ခေါ်ရတာဆူမေးရှော့သွားပြီးတော့
tearing them apart, taking Nigma's heroes, Nuke will fall, and that should be the last line of defense pretty much down. Hodge coming in with a buyback. Liquid are looking to take the
ဘောက်စီဟူကြီးอ่ะကွာ
one simple fight down in bottom, and they go straight.
အဲ့တော့မှလောက်ပါအောင်
He doesn't have the bear. He's pretty much useless right now. He did recover some of the items, but
how does
again,
Toby end up getting hooked?
I don't know. It feels like the punch
ဆူမေး
has
တေ
30
သွားတာ
units
အ
in
ဓိက
front of
ဆူ
him,
မေး
and he's
တေ
still
သွား
looking.
လို့
Oxy
သွားပြီ
just played out of his mind.
ဒီခေါ်သွားပြီရောင်ဟေးဒိဗယ်မရှိတယ်အဲ့အန်ချန်အဲ့ဝက်ကိုသွားဖြတ်တာအစတာပဲ
He got hooked way too many
မင်းမအဲ့လိုဝက်ကြီးကိုသွားဖြတ်တယ်လို့ငါယောက်အမှန်တယ်ဆိုရင်အဲ့လောက်တက်လို့မရဘူးလားလို့
I guess in this position at this point of the game, you
တ
don't
မနစ်ထဲနဲ့ခံလိုက်ရပြီ
that the game is over, that you have lost, and that was a clean performance from Liquid.
Hey,
Liquid
yeah.
Galaxy, they had
yes ဆက်တယ်ကွာဟိုကိစ္စသွားဆန်းရမယ် mass နဲ့ဂျာကားနဲ့နော် mass victory feast
Spreading enlightenment at the tip of my spear.
တမနစ်ထဲနဲ့ကွာဒိဗယ်မရှိတာဟိုနောက်ဆုံးမင်္ဂတလန်းပေးလိုက်ပြီးလေဟုတ်သေးတယ်အဲ့မှာအန်ချန်ဝက်ကြီးကိုမတက်ရက်ပြီးသွားချိုးဟိုဘက်ဆွဲသွားတော့4 versus 5ဆိုအတင်းထိုးတက်အောင်
I hope you four are good at following orders.
ရှာကားနောက်
Prepare for battle. Bullet time, do them an attack.
ဒီ
Not yet. No.
တစ်ချက်ပဲခုတ်တာဟဲ့အောင်အဲ့ဒါကြီးကအာယုံကြီးဒါကြီးကအဲ့လိုဘတ်နဲ့တော့မနိုင်သွားပါဘူးတဲ့အဲ့ဒါကြီးကတော့လည်းများတယ်ကွာဒီဘတ်ကြီးကနည်းနည်းများတယ်ဟိုရိုးရိုးခုံရင်အပြည့်ပဲရိုးရိုးခုံရင်အပြည့်ပဲ
We go.
နော်ရိုးရိုးခုံရင်အပြည့်ပဲ arena ထဲမှာခုံရင်
Let the combat. I'm under attack.
wait what ဟဲ့နေဘာကြီးတော့
Yeah.
ဘုသူကဘာလို့တစ်ချက်ပဲလဲ
The fight ends. The battle rages.
Huh?
That's the right of it. Very well.
နေ
Move out, you shoot. Call it a warning. Already moving.
ဆော့ဆော့ကရလိုက်တယ်ပထမဆုံးတစ်ခေါက်ရတယ်အခု
God's moving. Blades in.
ဟမ်
As the pickers flies.
ဘာလဲอ่ะပထမဆုံးတစ်ခေါက်လှုပ်တော့ကျွန်တော်တစ်ချက်ပဲခုတ်သွားတာပြီးမှဘာဖြစ်လို့
With divine grace. You're all playing my game now. It's time, you won't feel you will power to attack me.
ဟော
Mercy
arena ကို
stays
ဖြတ်ပြေးရမှာလားဟုတ်ပါ arena ကိုဖြတ်ပြေးရမှာဟုတ်ဘူး
Well, mull is over. Damn!
အေးကူးတောင်းကြောင့်ထင်တယ်ဒီ free spell ဖြစ်နေလို့ထင်တယ်အဲ့ဆိုရင်ကူးတောင်းဆောင်းအောင်မယ်ထင်တယ်ဟုတ်ဒီကူးတောင်းဆောင်းလိုက်
Your middle tower is under attack. Guys.
တကယ်သူတို့ရဲ့ဒီ main ကူးတောင်းဆောင်းပြီးလောက်ရမယ်ထင်တယ်
Ready.
တကယ်တစ်ချက်ထုသေးတယ်မဟုတ်လားမဟုတ်အဲ့ဒါပြန်ထွက်ကြည့်လိုက်မယ်သူတို့ရဲ့ပထမဦးဆုံးအဲ့လိုကူးတောင်းနဲ့ဖြစ်တာလားဒီမိုထဲမှာတခါကျအဲ့လိုမျိုးပဲသူကဟို WTF move လောက်လိုက်လို့ရှိရင်ဘတ်တွေကမပေါ်တော့တာမျိုးလည်းဖြစ်နိုင်
Ring across the battlefield and bear witness to my enemy's flight.
ဟုတ်တယ်မဟုတ်ပြီ
Prepare for battle.
arena ခင်းပြီးမှခုတ်တာနော်ဟုတ်တယ်တစ်ချက်ပဲခုတ်သွားအားမတော့လုံးစရာမလို arena ထဲမှာခုတ်ရင်တစ်ချက်သေးပဲ
It is not time.
ဒီ free spell လောက်လိုက်လို့ဘက်ကမပေါ်တော့တာသူ့ရဲ့တကယ်ဒီပူတောင်းအတိုင်းဆိုရင်
Yet.
back တယ်ကွာအဲကြောင့်ကိုကြည့်နေတာလုံးထုဝက်ကြီးကို Roshan အောက်ဘတ်တယ်နားမှာ only snap ပိုင်းရတာတစ်ချက်တည်းပိုင်းပြီးတော့ပြီးသွားတယ်လို့အဲ့ back ကြီးကစိုးတယ်ဟာထပ်ပြီးတော့ဒီမှာကူတောင်းထပ်ဆောင်ကြည့်လိုက်မယ်လုံးဝ confirm တေးကြအောင်လို့
We're not ready.
အဲ့တိုင်းထပ်ဖြစ်နေရဆိုရင်တော့တေးကြသွားပြီ
Not yet.
နောက်ထပ်စက္ကန့်40လောက်စောင့်လိုက်စက္ကန့်40လောက်စောင့်
Don't push me. It is not time.
တော့လေကိုကတော့ duration over ကြီးနဲ့နေကောင်းသွားပါပြီ10မိနစ်ကွာ10မိနစ်အများကြီးမျောလင်းတာနေကမော38မိနစ်နဲ့ကြောက်ရက်ဆက်တယ်နေကမာရေပြီ
We're not ready. We're not ready.
ဟုတ်တယ်ညအောင်တစ်ချက်ပဲလုံးဝတစ်ချက်တည်းခုတ်တာအဲ့တော့ arena ထဲမှာ omni slash က omni slash ပိုင်းပြီးမှ arena ထုံးရင်ဘယ်လိုဖြစ်မလဲမသိ စကိုင်းနဲ့ခဏစကိုင်းomni slash ပိုင်းမှာ arena omni slash ပိုင်းမှာ arena 3ရင်ရတယ်သူက arena 3ထားရတဲ့မှာပိုင်းလို့မရအဲ့ဒါလည်းဒီ victory feast ကြောင့်ဖြစ်နေတာဒီ victory feast ကြောင့်အဲ့တော့စကိုင်းကကြတော့ damage မဝင်ဘူးတဲ့စကိုင်းက enemy ပဲ
That's the right of it.
ဒီနားလောက်ကတော့
My spear leads the way.
ရောက်ပါတယ်
Call it
ဒါ
a
မှမဟုတ်
warning.
သူက align လားမသိ
All in
ဘူး
stride.
align ထင်တယ် align
Yeah.
ရောက်ပါတယ်
No!
wait what
Face me! Go! Mercy stop!
ထိတယ်စကိုင်းကတော့ထိတယ်ကွာ why
မ
ထိတယ်စကန်ထိတယ်သူပြောတာ concessive shot လို့ပြောသွားတာ arcane ball လို့မပြောသွားဘူးเนาะ arcane ball ပြစ်ကြည့်လိုက်
Thought as much.
arcane ball လည်းထိတာ
Someone's blood was drawn. This way. Are you not entertained? Rise before you die. Damn, bottom break them bleed. Huzzah!
ဖက်လဲနိုင်တာပဲဟုတ်ပါဖက်လဲနိုင်တာပဲလို့ပါအဲ့ဘက်ကြီးကတော်တော်တိတာပါတော့ကွာဂျာကားနဲ့အုံမီဆက်တစ်ချက်ပဲပိုင်းတယ်တဲ့အဲ့ဒီတစ်ချက်တည်းပိုင်းတယ်ဆိုတော့ဘက်နဲ့တော့မနိုင်ပါဘူးတဲ့နေကမာမနိုင်နေလေလို့38မိနစ်လောက်တော့ကြော်သွားတင်တယ်ကွာစိတ်ပြက်မိပါတယ်စိတ်ပြက်မိပါတယ်နေကမာစိုးစိတ်ပြက်liquid ကနေကမာငယ်နိုင်တဲ့ငယ်နိုင်အဲ့လိုဖြစ်FISSURE
And off we go. We are back with Fissure Universe Episode 7 with the official stream presented by Fissure, only on Kick, as we have Liquid in the lead right now versus Nigma Galaxy. Game 2 is upon us. here at the second round of the upper bracket semifinals is what I wanted to say. Liquid with one more win could punch a ticket to the top 3 and guarantee at least $30,000.
ဒီဘက်9 final တက်ပြီလားမ
However,
သိဘူး
for Nigma Galaxy, who hasn't actually rejoiced with a lot of big prize pool wins in the last couple
ဒီ
of
ဘက်
years,
9 wine
if you
final တက်ပြီလား
calculate 24 season, I think they roughly got maybe 130k or 140k.
တက်သေးကွာ UpperBracket
this
final ရောက်
year,
မှာနော်
including TI, or actually let's say excluding TI, they got the same
ဆို
amount.
liquid က
plus
Marcy
the
ရဲ့ Marcy carry ပြီ
144K,
လားမသိ
for finishing fifth to 6th in TI. So this could be a great start for the year, getting into the top 6 or top 3 and getting a bigger slice of that prize pool and start fighting back. You know, it's a best of 3 after all, so magic can happen.
Yeah, that is the case, and Liquid, they did win game 1 easily yesterday, and then they lost game 2 and almost lost game 3, so you never know. Maybe it is just that Liquid are the best in game 1 and now they're going to be dropping the ball a bit.
Potentially also one of the hot teams to watch, because they're also playing at FISSURE Playground 2, which is going to be happening at the end of this month on October 31st to
ဒိန်းတူမ
November
ရိုက်တော့
2nd
ဘူးကွာစိတ်နာ
in
သွား
the, Belgrade, Serbia, Sava
7 မိနစ်
Center.
ထဲနဲ့ကို
We'll
လောက်
be
သွား
playing a $1 million tournament with both Nigma and Liquid.
Think now,
participating.
I
We
can
want
do.
you there! Exclamation mark ticket into chat or click the banner below, and we are going to head over straight into the draft for game number 2. So let's see how things are going to evolve here. The Muerta has just earned a first phase first ban directly by Team Liquid. So I think that's a great way to start. Don't let Nigma build around that Muerta in a different way.
Yeah, they played it too well mid lane wise, and even throughout the game it was a problem. Like a couple of those fights that Nigma turned around, it was on the back of the Aghanim Scepter of Samael, so you most definitely don't want to be playing against that. And not gonna lie, despite Liquid being in all of that game for pretty much the entirety of it, there were times when this Muerta is just standing her ground and people start dropping really, really fast. So imagine if the game was more even, that could have been detrimental. So better to keep it away. Plus it's a flex pick for Nigma as well, so it's just way too good of a first pick.
Absolutely. He ended up doing 30,000 hero damage, which was just 500 short from Nisha, who
Wow,
had
Lord.
the top DPS
နော် Marcy carry
in the game. So you think about both the mid
2 ဒီ
laners,
2တော့မယ်ထင်တယ်
impact in game number 1. Never got to the point where Ghost and that bear would have become a huge threat on the map. Liquid was definitely on point, on par with their timings, how to set the game, when to look to finish, and utilize their strengths in those team fights. Puck will be removed though by Nigma Galaxy, so we're going to get something new for the mid lane. And also, Boxy's Pudge definitely earned a place. Maybe because, I don't know if Toby was unable to touch this Pudge, or if Boxy was said, I'm going to Pudge game. That means we're going to have a lot of those first phase heroes go through. We have Dawnbreaker in there, we have Beastmaster in there, we have Marcy that gets grabbed by Liquid.
I thought they were going to be going for the Dawn because Liquid have played it in this tournament. Unsuccessfully though. That is maybe that is why they didn't want to do it, because the Naga was still in the pool. Marcy on the other hand doesn't care about the Naga too much. I mean, everybody cares about Naga because she just stops a team fight and refreshes the game basically, even if you start losing it. But overall, Marcy can fight constantly, right? And you build the BKB relatively early on, especially as a core, so even when the sleep is out, you can finish off heroes.
Yeah, they Dawnbreaker did end up being uncontested in the first match. Wasn't touched by the bans at all. However, the Naga Siren was removed by Liquid. They had the Marcy, Naga, the Chen, and Nigma instead, Monkey, Weaver, and the Furion. And of course, the Lycan from Liquid too. Liquid having first pick this time around, though, it's quite easy to build around Marcy, be it 3, be it support. You've got support players for this Marcy too, so Liquid doesn't necessarily lock it in directly for Ace. Could even be a mid-game carry Marcy. I actually have to look if he's been grinding that in the pause 1 lately.
He played it 3 times during no, actually 1 match in TI in the playoffs, and he did win, but definitely not something that they go for too often. I guess they had Saberlight in their team during TI, and he loves this hero, so it makes sense that it was picked a lot, and then maybe a game arises when they thought it would be a good carry.
Yep. At least what I could find, I found a rather peculiar build on Ace playing Io. BKB, Shiva's Satanic, MKB, Ags. He's won this game. This is a month-old match, though. But a very interesting in build, definitely for an IO. If they wanted something like a Marcy IO lane, for example, I guess in that case you could play with Boxy playing Marcy 4 and Ace brings up something for the 3 role. Usually you'd see it the other way around, right? Where you have either IO5 or IO4 played up with a core.
That's
but
a Beastmaster.
You have to remember Liquid is an IO lineup, and there's the Beastmaster.
Nigma pick it here because they can put it into the mid lane as well. If they would only play it in the off lane, then like a Jakiro or a Gyro would just be a pretty standard response by Liquid. And they, I thought that they were gonna pick the Jakiro anyways, because it just feels pretty solid versus both of these heroes.
Asa, oh, Asa bit on my.
It gets put in the mid lane, but they really
let's
like this that far.
Asa me.
I'd still want to see a Jakiro unless they want
to. Entry to Amlam do. The Lord pick out or Nigma pick out. Might or mine. So nine or PV. A game one or let to pick up my body. To have the pie look like them there. Only Pala Omlam do. Matthew Asa 9. They are a Jonia. The liquid got a casty body. Tobiani is a Arimia Pillable. Millabo. Oh, Matthew off lane.
100%.
Just scary, Miala, Pala.
Solid synergy between the snap and the warlock. So, I think they're just preparing to have something in the lane that is gonna be needing heals, like an Ursa comes to mind. But there are other heroes that could be in there.
Well, they got a lot of damage output, right? Easy to play with. Fatal Bonds going out, Mortimer's Kisses, which we know is probably one of the best ultimates, level 6. Combine that with Fatal Bonds, you're doing a sizable damage increase onto Nigma Galaxy. You destroy Naga Illusions right away. You destroy the Beastmaster Zoo. You're going to have multiple heroes caught by Fatal Bonds no matter who you're going to cast it on. If you hit one guy, you're still probably going to hit like 4 targets with what Nigma's drafted so far, which is why I think this Warlock feels like a very easy pick.
Okay, so...
You gotta cancel on the lasso. Drop the golem right on top of the lasso target.
Yep. Wait, did Nigma play a Batrider yet? No, they didn't. So they're still trying to be very, very versatile. But you still now have at least some initiation, right? So that's a big deal because you were lacking that. This is most likely going to be your other support, and considering that Naga Siren won't really be contributing to any pickoffs, especially not later on in the game,
Marcy off lane no?
Batrider just makes a lot of sense. Now you would want
Marcy off
might
lane.
pick it for 24, a hero that likes.
That's got carry Joe me. I'm a cast off lane.
Terrorblade comes to mind. It's not really
on
Ghost
Nigma?
style. That type of a hero, right?
That type of a hero, sure. I don't like TV into Warlock. I feel like that will be Warlock game. It already is a really
Beastmaster
pressure on your support, you know.
Nigma 9 on 9 လောက်တယ်ဒီပွဲအယုံရဲတာပဲရှိတယ်9လောက်တယ်ပိအရဆိုရင်
We'll see what he ends up going. Something like a lifestyle.
ဝါလော့ဟီရိုကဘယ်လိုတွေကောင်းလဲတဲ့ဝါလော့ဟီရိုကဘယ်လိုတွေကောင်းလဲဆိုတော့
does hurt quite a lot. It's a
တစ်ဖက်အသင်းက
against, but you'll have
အဲ့လို unit ကောင်တွေများတဲ့အခါမျိုးတို့
Shadow Fiend, which was
ခုံပြန်ကျော်လွားတွေ
something like that, like a mixed damage sort.
မပါတဲ့အခါမျိုးတို့ပေါ့နော်တစ်ဖက်အသင်းမှာအဲ့လိုမျိုး mobility မပါတဲ့အခါမျိုးမှာဝါလော့ကကောင်းတယ်အဲ့လိုမြန်မာလိုလမ်းလျှောက်ပြီးတီးမဲ့ကောင်ဥပမာဘချာကယ်ရီတို့ပါတို့ကွာတစ်ဖက်မှာပါမယ်ဆိုဝါလော့ကောင်းတယ်
Mortimer's Kisses if you feel like you're in
အဲ
danger.
လုံးသလူကယ်ရီတို့ပါတို့ဆိုရင်လည်းဝါလော့ကောင်းတယ်
How do you feel about this?
ခုံတဲ့ကောင်တွေနဲ့ဆိုမကောင်းတော့
Some solid counter to it. Most
အဲ့လို
counters
ပြီးရင်
are
I
ဘာ
don't
ရှိ
think
အောင်
so.
စပန်ကယ်ရီတွေပါနဲ့တွေ့ရင်လည်းကောင်းတယ်
in the game. Something that he
no.
doesn't like to play versus in the lane.
ကိုလန်
is
ရော
a
သူ့ရဲ့
Mars, but
level
I'm still
3 တွေ
leaning
ရော
towards
ဘာတွေ
this
ရော
being
နောက်
a Ace Marcy rather than McKay picking it up. But either way, what Nigma Galaxy want to have with this Ursa is just the ability to jump and kill somebody, right? Because when you have a Naga Siren, you might have an issue with the damage, right? The Batrider also doesn't provide like an insane amount of burst, so you needed it from your carry. So it was like Ursa, maybe a Sven would have been a better one, but Ursa kills people faster. At least the squishies he kills faster, and he gets online slightly quicker.
Yeah, especially with the troll band, it does feel like the Ursa is protected from that carry matchup. Liquid taking their sweet time thinking about this next pick, and it's going to be a Kez. So we've only cast one Kez that was on mid one.
Mid, yep.
So most likely Nisha Kez. Nothing locked in yet. The Kez, at least with its item build, is quite similar to as if you were a position 1 hero. So you could Mickey Kez this if the matchups are right.
It's actually not bad, right? Kez in the laning stage is kind of squishy, so the Warlock healing you up is quite decent. I wouldn't mind a carry Kez either. I mean, they're gonna have to reveal it before Nigma Galaxy gets their last pick out anyways. But now this
really
makes banning a bit rougher.
Yeah, I really like that Tidehunter ban. They're suspecting Sumail's probably playing the Beast into mid. Playing that Ursa as a carry and having Noob's hero still in the pool. Maybe you ban that Mars as well, just in case. Mars Beastmaster sounds dirty.
Lycan is out of the way, so you don't have to think about that. Yeah, Mars is probably the best offlaner that is left. Another one could be a Pango. Other than the Warlock Golem, you've got nothing to slow him down, so that could also be a last pick for Nigma, and also a hero that Noob can play. I mean, he used to be like very, very good on the Pango, especially in his mid lane days.
They're panning Brew, so they're saying that's a Marcy carry, most likely, and also the Ember Spirit gets removed. So Marcy and Kez double flex. 1, 2, 3.
It's very hard to guess where Liquid are going to be putting their heroes. There's really multiple ways to do it. But if you want to pick an offlaner, let's say for Liquid, Mars would be a pretty good one for them as well. Laning versus the Ursa is solid. Batrider doesn't necessarily like playing versus you. Naga Siren is the only problem. But with this Kez and the Mars, you actually have quite a lot of burst. So Naga Siren might not even be able to respond.
Yeah, it's not a... doesn't feel like a very nice Naga game. Don't really have anyone to particularly set things up for, like nothing AoE wise. End up banning Sumail's Invoker.
Kez က CM ထဲပါလာပြီလားပါလာပြီကိုတော့မနေရမှသိတာ
What are we doing with Marcy and Kez? We're bringing up the Storm Spirit, so...
Game 1 Liquid နိုင်တာတယ်
Kez Marcy, it's still open.
Game 1
But
Liquid
most likely that is a Kez carry and a Marcy.
Nigma ရဲ့လုံးသတို့နိုင်သွားတာနော်
Ace plays the Marcy with the Snapfire. Kez Warlock, like you said. Warlock balances out the
ပြောမယ်ဆိုရင်
lane quite nicely.
Nigma ရဲ့လောလောဆယ် Strong Jet
Storm Spirit against
flow က
the
လုံးထုလို့ပြောလို့ရတယ်
Or
အဲ့
bats.
Strong Jet flow ကိုနိုင်သွားတာ
coming up last.
Yeah, they could maybe
That's a
get
bet.
themselves a Quap or Sumail. If they yeah, okay. So they want to have
call.
the screaming couple, the Beastmaster and the Quap.
And the Ursa. Screams and roars.
Yeah, even he.
And one
even
singing
he-
in the background. Ah! Yeah, you got a real vocal cords lineup here for Nigma Galaxy.
For sure. But man, I really like this Liquid lineup. It's not easy to play, but you've got Teamfight, you've got the Burst, laning stage of the Kez should be fine because you're gonna get healed up by the Warlock a lot. But I guess again, Sumail is gonna have a really nice time in the mid lane, and again, it has to be Sumail that pops off.
Are you still going with the Nigma draft like in game 1?
Nah,
Like this is an improvement?
I'm a Kez enjoyer ever since that mid 1 game. I feel like he is, when played properly, can even be a better version of the Ursa, right? Because he bursts people down. He doesn't need the blink dagger to get close to you. He can focus on his damage items. He is a little bit squishy, but if you look at Nigma Galaxy, they aren't always going to be initiating. Their lineup also relies on their counter initiation, and counter initiation, from what I have gathered so far, isn't that good versus Kez. Because if you try to counter initiate versus this guy, he's already have you dead. He's gonna already have you dead.
Very likely. You have ways to deal with this Kez, though. You have the Primal Roar. You can interrupt the Raptor Dance.
ဒီပွဲတော့ဘာမှမချတော့
if you time it
ပွဲက
right. I mean,
နား
the
လိုက်
Raptor Dance build-up is quite long, actually.
စိတ်ပြတ်သွား
You react
စိတ်
to
ပြတ်
it.
သွား
It
ခဲ့
has a
ပြီ
loud audio cue, so you should be able to
အာ
hear
ချ
it if you have something like Toby building a
duration ကလည်း39ပဲ
like a siren. You can protect
ပြီးရင် over ရရင်အဲ့ကောင်တွေကမှအန်ဒါဖြစ်အောင်
the Kez ulti. But it is from the carry position, so slightly different to what we saw in mid one's hands. You
Game 2 က Nigma တော့ အော့တာနေတယ် 1.69
a little bit, you know, you're going to be a bit slower. You're not
အ
going
ပိ
to
ရ
get
တော့
spells as
မိုက်
fast.
တယ်အာဆာကြီးက
Probably
ရိုက်
not
ခွဲ
gonna
မှာ
poke
အကုန်လုံး
that much.
နိုင်
Depending
တယ်
if he's going to play in a specific stance, right? If you
ဒီ
stick
ဘက်
with the
အာဆာ
katana
ကိုအဲ့လို
stance, I think you can
ဖြတ်ဖို့က
can harass your opponents
တိတ်
pretty
မလွယ်
well,
ဘူးလားလို့
given that Warlock has the Shadow Word, so you can play aggressively in this lane.
Nigma နိုင်တော့တယ်
Almost
Because
definitely.
without
Game
the
3
levels-
သွားလောက်
Well, Liquid in a smoke, they're not going to be finding
အော်
anything.
gas ဘယ်လောက်ထိ
Today,
လုပ်ပြ
Gas
နိုင်မလဲ
in,
တစ်ချက်ကြည့်ရအောင်
Southeast Asia, though,
gas တကယ်
and
damage
every
ထွက်ရင်
time
လည်း
there was a
ကျန်းတယ်
fight before
အာ
the
ဆာကို
event.
ဒဲဒဲ
So
လာမ
even
နိုင်
now,
မနိုင်မယ်ကွာ
in Fissure Universe, I don't know if we saw one or two real fights.
gas
We saw
ရဲ့
it in the
breast damage
previous
တွေက
game,
လည်းတွားရှုပ်လို့
but
မရ
during the group stages, it was very rare.
အဒီကောင်က breast damage နဲ့ဆော့တာမဟုတ်ဘူးကွာဟိုဟာနဲ့ဆော့တာကာတနာ
I'll be
ဓာ
curious
ပြောင်း
to
ရင်
see what,
ကျန်းတဲ့ဟာနဲ့ဆော့တာတို့ကောင်တွေ run မှာတွေ့ဘူးတယ်အဲ့ဒီ
what this. I mean, we're not getting the same
Critical
type
mark
of a level 1 fight as we did.
ပူကျန်းတဲ့ facet ယူပြီးဆော့တာအဲ့ဟာ breast damage ဆော့ရင်ကျန်း
Usually the Pudge team would
တယ်
like
ဗတ်တယ်မစခင်မှာကိုဖြောက်လိုက်တယ်ကိုဖြောက်လိုက်တဲ့အချိန်မှာအဲ့
now it's just
critical mark လေးတွေ
Noob doing a bit of an invasion.
ခေါင်းပေါ်ရောက်သွားတယ်အဲ့ရောက်သွားတဲ့ mark
with
နဲ့
just the same
တုံး
down
တာ
the bottom. And you
မြန်
don't
မြန်
really
ပြတ်
have
သွား
a
ဆောင်းမြင်
tri-lane setup. Tofu might consider sticking around here just for a bit of harass onto this Ursa. But you're not really setting up for a potential kill here with these three. If it was anything else than a Warlock, say,
Mickey,
Tofu
ဘာလုပ်
got
ညာ
like his Weaver.
Is Mickey
But
dead?
in the top lane, it's a very different story because Kez either
Mickey,
dies or
see.
stays very
အပေါ်
badly
ကနေရေ
damaged.
မြောင်းနေကနေသွားရင်
At least the Warlocks
အေး
have
စစ်စစ်ရ
lots of
နေအောင်ဘာလဲလောက်တာလဲအဲ့ဒါ
mana to regenerate.
အားလုံး
making
ကိုကြီးတစ်ပွဲ
that
ညီလေးတစ်ပွဲ
full.
လုံနေပြီထင်တယ်
That's a
နော်
good way to start for Noob and Omar. At least force the early resources out.
လုတ်ပေါက်တယ်လုတ်ပေါက်တ
They
ယ်
know that that is a soft lane. Toby will drop quite low, not quite enough for a kill, however.
Right. Yeah, Nagasarni isn't the softest of heroes, especially when it comes to armor, but you have low HP, and then you combine a little Shredder, your armor is gone, a couple of hits from the Marcy, and it really does hurt. I'm thinking this Liquid bottom lane is going to be very, very strong once the Marcy gets the bodyguard. The amount of damage and the right clicks that they're going to be dishing out is going to be huge.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're playing into 3 melees and 1 range hero, so you're absolutely going to get a lot of trades going. Most
That's
likely
gonna be a brawling lane.
most likely going to be the kill lane. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the same.
They might not kill each other, but they're definitely gonna be getting each other low, Ghost dropping low. This is how you play versus an Ursa. You always keep him low. It's the same. Ursa, Monkey King, Slark, these heroes. If you start trading with them when everybody's full, they will kill you. But if you are just poking at them and pushing them back, Ursa just has very low amount of damage in his right click, so he needs to build up the Fury Swipes to be any kind of a nuisance. So you're just trying to trade with him this way, and he's always gonna be losing.
Exactly. You want to keep the fight short. If you take a longer fight, that sustain turns into burst damage. Be it Monkey, be it Ursa. So absolutely that. Interesting interaction there with the dispose.
Oh, Marcy.
into an Earth shot.
Marcy
so
sana
goes
fire
back
low
to
down
where he
yeah.
came from. But level 2's already up on both sides. Boxy ends
wait
up,
Marcy
taking
sana
the tower
fire
right
ဆိုလို့
there.
ခေါင်းထဲမှာပေါ်လာလား
Top lane.
Marcy
not the
ရဲ့
same
level
type
3
of,
က
harassing going on. Noob should be able to clear.
ချိတ်ထားလို့ရှိရင်သူချိတ်ထားတဲ့ကောင် physical တစ်ချက်ဝင်တိုင်း Marcy ကတစ်ချက်ထိုးတာနော်ဟုတ်တယ်မလား Little Shredder နဲ့ဆိုဇက်တိုက်ကန်အောင်
slightly behind
ဇက်တိုက်ထိုးမှာပေါ့ဟုတ်လား
to the Beastmaster despite 2 more last hits.
ဘယ်သူဆန်းဘူးလဲ
The
အဲ့ဒါ
lane is in a solid position for the beast, and this is a problem. Once the beast gets level 3, if the lane keeps getting close to his
အဲ့တော့
tower,
Little Shredder
then,
physical
a
attack လေ
hero like a Kez,
Yep.
who is not kind of slippery, can go down.
Tofu might just go down here. Omar has been poking this Warlock and hoping that he goes for the D ward. He manages to open up the camp, but that means a flame break's going straight at him. So the camp is open, and it comes at the cost of Warlock's life. A sacrifice for that sentry.
Very nice for a Batrider to get a first blood. You're gonna get an early boots, and with this hero, you want that early blink dagger. It really is gonna be set up for so many pickoffs on Nigma Galaxy. Other than the roar, he's gonna be the one bringing in kills.
They'll be
ဟုတ်တော့တယ်အောက်မှာ Little Shredder နဲ့အဲ့ဒီအကွက်နဲ့ combo တွဲနေရနော်
at a
Go
big
Avi.
minus there. Boxy able to send in the cookie of Mars. Send the cookie on the Mars.
အချရတယ်ဘာမှမချဘူးဒီဘက်ရှောင်းနေဒီဘက်ရှောင်းနေ
He wanted to
The
give the
kill
kill
there.
to
Game 1မအောင်မြင်တော့ Game 2
He
ရှောင်းလိုက်ပြီ
used spells. He was waiting for the Naga to heal.
ဆုံးဖြတ်လိုက်ပြီ Game 2
In the end, the cookie still got him.
ခင်သားသလိုဖြစ်မလာခဲ့
Targeting Nisha, he's not that low. He knows.
Yeah, good reaction there. Didn't exactly have any other deep vision except for the Obs ward showing slightly into the river, but just enough to scout if the Batrider is coming in from the top side of that Roshan pit.
Yeah,
He's already moving himself to safety.
they have that ward in their jungle, so they were from the start expecting these rotations from the Batrider. The thing is that you still lose your water rune, which is a problem when playing versus Aqua, because she does harass you quite heavily.
Yep. One thing that I really like about this carry matchup, actually,
ဟာတကယ်တတ်မှာဟာတကယ်တတ်မှာဟာ
is
သိသွားပြီ
in general. Ursa's
သိသွား
gonna
ပြီ
be
ပေါ်တယ်ပါကုံသွားတာနီရှာမွားသွားပြီအဲ့ဆိုရင်
tier 2 tower.
ပြန်ထွက်လာရင်လည်းလမ်းလျှောက်ပြီးလာမှာ
He knew about it. Well, we're gonna get to talk about that point in a bit as Toby is gonna be poked again. Ghost. There's the web on Ace. Let's get the rebound, but is it gonna be enough? That's 6 stacks, 7 stacks. The 8 might just be too much as Ghost will secure this kill. Make that 3 now for Nigma Galaxy. Some good trading going on. But what I was going on about the Kez versus the Ursa, in general, Ursa will beat the Kez, but a well-timed Talon toss at rank 4, which is almost a 3-second silence, prevents that Ursa from using his ult. So if you get your combo on a low Ursa, he will not be able to defend himself against the Kez.
Omar is making Nisha's life a living hell, and this storm is just crushed. I mean, he's in support territory, and if you look at Nigma Galaxy, they have a lot of
တက်လုံးနေပြန်ပြီအေးနီရှာကိုတောင်းလျှောက်တွေလိုက်နှောက်တာတောက်ဟိုဟာ Top three ထဲမှာပါ
just get bursted down.
ပေးမဆောင်နီရှာ level 4နဲ့တစ်တွေလဲနေပြီ
Okay,
Now what town Leah?
Selling up. There were couriers coming in.
Oh my god
Unfortunately, those are Marcy couriers.
ဝင်းပင်းက level 6အဲ့မှာ haste ပါရအောင်အိုးမရဘူး
Not really
နိုင်သွားတယ်
Foxy takes away the haste rune. Doesn't straight up go into the Roche
No
pit.
blink.
Sumail. Nice appliance there of that Lil Shredder movement by Boxy.
Oh, Ace messed up. He pulled Boxy with the dispose. I think they could have gotten some mail there.
He's going in for it. Boxy can't deny himself. Sumail will pick up the kill on Boxy and Ace. He's getting harassed here as well. The
Sure.
Fatal Bonds ain't doing enough. Nice movement there with a rebound. There is Nisha trying to get that kill on Sumail. Maybe with the Fatal Bonds it could have been enough, but Sumail actually didn't have the debuff on him. Omar soaks up another remnant hit. They are so low on the side of Nigma, but they get away with that one kill.
No more
That
resources.
does
Liquid
mean
back, cast the
they
goal,
have
man,
to go all the way
town,
back home,
ဒီ
most
ခဲတကောင်ပဲထောင်းတယ်ကျန်တဲ့ကောင်လစ်နေ
Yeah, that's finally gonna allow the Storm Spirit to get to his level 6. So imagine if he had it in that fight, would have been completely different. But because he got so destroyed, he's just running around and trying to remnant the Quap the second that she gets the blink dagger. The blink online is the second you can't do anything about it. Ace this time around, he does get a good
Oh,
dispose,
cookie
but
chore,
the
eh?
cookie off the mark. Pathing around the trees. Bummer.
အဲ့ကွက်ပြီးမှထပ်ဆန်းကြီးอ่ะ
If you're not that used to clicking
Oh, oh, and it-
directional move on heroes you regularly
body gun
play,
နဲ့
and that
Little
is
Shredder နဲ့ကအလုံးလုံး
miss
လာ
a lot of times.
လုံးလုံးတော်တော်ကြမ်းပါဘူးအဲ့ဒါကြီး
Something the player himself usually has to practice. It's not the Snapfire's fault. Usually mid players, like the ones especially, or even some carry players who play like heroes like Slark, the Shadow Fiend, they're used to using directional move. But you might have a player who's never had to resort to that, so you don't have your like instant reaction to directional move click somewhere. So you have to hold a binding. Nope, getting pressured by Mickey. He's looking for the kill with the Raptor dance, gets a nice poke onto the Beastmaster, but he hit his level 6 from the creep wave, allowing the roar to go
အပြည့်တော့
off.
ထိသွားတယ်ဒီကောင်ပိုင်းတာ
Trying to nuke that Fatal Bond's way, but he's regenerating with that Helm of Iron Will, so he will live. But he does drop low. If he didn't have the extra regeneration, that beast probably would have died from that creep wave, tanking all that damage.
Yeah,
Omar manages to find a courier snipe too.
Yeah, sometimes getting connected to the full creep wave will do that for you. Though it is still kind of funny when you see people attacking the creep wave or the creeps in general because of the fatal bonds to kill somebody as Omar.
I mean, Mickey might be able to retaliate onto this. It's a split kill. Mickey would have liked to take the whole bounty for himself from this. Omar, at least, you know, doing some important work, going for these plays. You have so much mobility on this Liquid offlane. You have Cookie with a rebound. You can always build almost a blink dagger's worth of distance.
Despite that, Ghost still is having a really good game. He got a pretty early phase boots, and now he's stronger than what you would want it to be. Liquid started pressuring him early, but
မိခဲကိုလာဝိုက်ပြီသူမေးကသူ့မှာစပယ်အပြည့်ရှိတယ်ရောလာတော့မပြည့်သေးဘူးနှစ်ကောင်နဲ့မသေးလောက်တင်တယ်ဟိုကောင်မှာကိုဖြောက်တာရှိတယ်ကတ်စကထိုးဆိုကိုဖြောက်ပြီးပြေးလို့ရ
Absolutely can't have like no boots dummy or brown boots dummy because you're playing into heroes like Lifestealer, Ursa. You need to have the mobility for it. Talking about mobility, if you haven't already started planning your trip to Belgrade, Serbia, you might as well do it right now. Kaz is getting jumped on, and Kaz might be picked as well in Free-to-Play Round 2 on the 31st of October to the 2nd
You got
of November.
Majesty တွေအများကြီးဆိုတော့
Take it in the chat or click the banner below as the fight ends. So it's a bit of a fake hype cast on top of that as Boxy is dropping low. Ace has already fallen. Ghost jumped on by Nisha. Nisha still pummeling this Ursa. He'll get the kill. Toby picks up the double with a Naga Siren, and you've got mana for a song. But can you get the song off in time? No TP. No TP for Toby. And Nisha
no mana.
Keep following. Doesn't have the mana.
Sorin ရပြီ
Soul ring in a second. It's going.
မိသွားတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့မနာထပ်မရှိတော့ဘူး
That's just what you needed with that mirror image.
Oh, now Sumail is coming. Mickey as well.
Now there's another danger coming in, and Mickey can't find Toby right away. Sumail is on the chase for Nisha, knowing he's vulnerable right now. Sonic Wave does tick on Nisha. He's low, manages to get one of the ticks away, and Mickey still can't kill Toby as he's going under the tower. Finally takes him down. Now Sumail and Ghost are on the chase. Kez is going for the TP out. There's no cancel on neither of these two heroes. He'll get himself away. But that was an eternity chase, and rightfully so. The old stand-in for Liquid.
နာကောက်လိုက်တတ်တာရှော့သွားမနာခုံတော့မခုံသင့်ဘူးကွာတကယ်ဆိုရင်ဒီရှာအရန်မွတ်နေတော့သူဟီရိုကီလေးတစ်ကောင်ရရင်လဲရဆိုပြီးအတင်းနေလိုက်လောလိုက်တာသူပြန်ပါသွားတကယ်အာဆာကိုသူရပြီးနေပြီတန်နေပြီကွာဆက်လိုက်ဆရာမလို့တော့အရန်မွတ်ထားတော့စိတ်တွေကမရတော့ထိတ်မရတော့ ဒါပြန်ပြီဒီခေါက်တော့မန်နာများတယ်နော်ဒီခေါက်တော့မန်နာအပြည့်နဲ့ထွက်လာ
Get the snapfire kill 60 HP blood grenade taking 40 HP won't get the kill. Liquid will get to reply and respond on top of that. Noob, however, did finish the tower simultaneously. And Ursa
အာဆာနဲ့အမဲမခန့်တာအာဆာကိုလက်သီးနဲ့သွားထိုးနေတယ်ဟောပြန်လဲခုံရင်ရှောမှာနော်
Strong has 6 stacks of Fury swipes on the front. She's active unable to fight though with the Fury of the Raptor dance.
Marcy dying bottom.
Top lane and Beastmaster teeping away. And Marcy, is she gone with the Sonic Wave? Yes, sir. That's the king for you.
Yeah, you could see how Marcy was trying to poke at the Ursa, and he waited for the ulti to stop, but he was still going forward. But as you mentioned, way too many Fury Swipe stacks, so he decides against it. But while all that fighting was happening, Sumail was TPing in to be ready if he got an opportunity. And nice clicking from Omar.
I mean, he's literally on top of the rune, but bullying Nisha a bit more.
I've seen Nisha steal it so many times, even with an Ember, right? With his sleight of fist. I think he's the player that I've seen the most be able to grab those runes and Aegises in the past couple of years.
if it was his enter.
ဘိုလန်မန်နာမရှိဘူးစပယ်ကရှိတယ်အော်ဒီက Majestic နဲ့မန်နာတော့ပြည့်သွားပြီ
Joining in Liquid again with 4 heroes.
ကဲတယ်မလို့လိုက်ဘူး
These invaders from their lands.
ဒီရှာနေနဲ့လှုပ်လို့ရဖြစ်လာပြီသူနောက်ဝက်လေးက
There's still
လူလူတူတူပြန်ဖြစ်လာပြီကွာ4800မစိုးအဲ့လောက်ဆိုရင်လေလိမ့်မှာဆောင်းရမ်းကြီးမွတ်ထားတာနေပြီးတော့ဒီလောက်ပြန်လိုက်လာနိုင်တာ
The thing is the game is going really well for Nigma for the time being. Liquid
နောက်ဆုံး sound split က sound split ပါပဲပင်ပိန်ဘလောက်ထိဖိတာအချိန်တိုင်းအမှ pre out တော့ကို level 1နှစ်ချက်လောက်သုံးပြီးတော့စားပြီးတော့အမှပြန်ဖတ်
This guy hits really hard.
တော့ခရီးလဲစားရလွယ်အဲ့တော့ Mickey first side တန်း Fury မဟုတ်ဘူးကွာ critical အသေးတဲ့ပြီးတော့ Dasso သွားဖို့လုပ်နေ Dasso တော့ကြိုက်တယ် Fury မသွားတဲ့ဒီ cast တွေက Dasso မိုက်တယ်တေးပြီလေ
HP and
ဘိုလန်ကျဲတယ်လက်ဆူထက်ဆွဲထားတယ်တေးနေရအိုးတေးသွားသေးတယ်ကိုပြောင်းလိုက်ရင်တော့လွတ်လာလို့
We'll apply the pressure onto the Warlock. Here comes Nisha though. Sumail also replies.
အိတ်ထားတယ်သွားပြီနီရှာနိုးမှန်တာ
With no mana. Nisha, you can do one zip with your magic wand. Which direction is going to be? Foxy is ready with the cookie, but unfortunately Toby will get the ensnare off first. You can always cast it during the song, so there was no real escape for that Storm Spirit cookie or not.
This damage output of Nigma Galaxy is a problem. We're seeing the squishiness of
Dominator now fly ပြီလား now fly ပြီ Dominator
even with the
movement speed now fly တယ်
you're able to bring down the Kez, and yes, he does have this
damage
too, but he's never getting a
Heroes Days ကနေပြီးတော့ Dominator ကို damage တိုက်အဲ့လိုတခုဝင်ထားရင် damage ဝင်ထားလို့ရှိရင်
pretty much a minute or two, which is gonna allow Nigma Galaxy to
ဟိုအဲ့ဝင်နေတဲ့အချိန်မှာ
open up the map enough.
နောက်တစ်ကောင်ညှို့လိုက်လို့မရဘူး ဒါမျိုးအနေထားပေါ့ဒါမျိုးအနေထား damage တွေဝင်လာလို့ရှိရင်နောက်တစ်ကောင်သွားပြီးတော့ညှို့လိုက်လို့မရဘူးကွာဓာတ်ကပြတ်တယ်လို့ဖြစ်သွားပြီအဲ့လိုမျိုး3စက္ကန့်
quadrant
boost speed shot လိုက်တာတော့တော်တော်သိတာနေလို့ဆိုရင်အဲ့တမန်လုံးကိုရှောက်ပြေးပြီးတော့တင်မှာ crit ရေရှောက်ခေါ်အဲ့ဒါတော့တော်တော်သိတာဒါလည်းစနေကြတော့မယ်ဒီနေ့ရောမနေ့ကလည်းအဲ့လို offlane တွေသွားနေကြတာပဲမှာ dome breaker တွေဘာတွေကစ dominator သွားနေတော့ ခံ nerf ကမလို့ဖြစ်နေ
That's a bummer, but this no, not again.
ဒီပြန်ပြီ
the Kaz locked down. Mickey will try to parry, but he's burning along the way. Feathers getting ruffled.
I think teams might stop picking this Marcy this early into the draft because every single lane that I see it is just falls flat. A lot of the other offlaners in this circumstance would at least get a blink dagger, so it would have an offlaner to help you. But right now, Liquid, they have a hero that does absolutely nothing and also lost its lane quite heavily. At least Nisha is somewhat in these fights contributing. Ace is not doing anything, and I feel like it is his hero. It wasn't his fault that much.
So what's Liquid's backup plan here? Is it the Kez timings? Is it down to Nisha? I feel like Nisha's already had such a rough start for this match that getting this Storm Spirit online feels like you're just gonna have to go with what you have now.
Yeah, he has to play. I don't think that Liquid have any other timings other than the Kez. You have to be hoping that once he gets the Deso that you're going to be surprising Nigma Galaxy and getting a good fight going. That's the only way. You don't split push that well. You do not force Roche. The only thing is your team fight. But because you're so far behind, you have to be in a better position when that team fight is starting, and you have to delete an initial hero. If that happens, then they can get back into the game. At this moment in time, Nigma Galaxy are in full control.
Super chat တွေပေးလို့လားမသိဘူး
And now you are
အရင်ရတယ်
to
ထင်တယ်
join your team as well. So it's not only the Kez that is going to be bringing in that physical burst.
အရင်ဖြော်တော့ခံနေရပြီလုံးနေ game 1ကရှုံးထားတာကိုလည်းပြောအောင်လေ
You don't want to rely
38မိနစ်တဲ့ကိုယ်တက်တက်ကြီး10မိနစ်နဲ့ကပ်ဖြုတ်သွား
So obviously
အခုကျတော့လေသူတို့မဟုတ်သလိုပဲရိုက်တာဆိုတော့အာစာကြီးနဲ့
look at the Marcy can get some pretty big items on this hero.
ပစ်ကတော့တာသွားပါတယ်
Most important
ပစ်တာကတော့ AC ရိုက်
good in that matchup.
အာစာကိုဘယ်ကောင်းမှရှင်ခုတ်လို့မရဘူး gas ကော Marcy ရောရှင်ခုတ်လို့မရဘူး
Stay slightly ahead, but
အဲ့ဒါမှဘေးနားကနေလက်ဆူဆွဲမဲ့ကောင်နဲ့ raw ပေးမဲ့ကောင်နဲ့ဆိုပြီးရော
can also consider building an Ags. later on into the game, obviously, not one of your first items, but the
sounds ကလည်းမွန်းတယ်
1 second
ဥမာကာယာလေး
silence
တစ်ခု
pulse
ထွက်
can be handy, especially if you want to prevent that Ursa from roaring.
Yeah, but look at the Marcy. I mean, he's buying a Falcon's Blade 18 minutes into the game, so Hayes doesn't have much fate. He's like, can I survive maybe for a second longer so that my teammates can maybe do something? And this is the thing, Nigma Galaxy's lineup, you know, you can look at it having maybe one weakness, and that's supports don't contribute to the damage department much at the early stages of the game. That time has passed. Now you're forced to
Nisha အားချောင်းနေတယ်
that you pretty much don't
ဒါက
have
ဟိုဟာ
any damage
ပေါ်တယ်ရှိရ
issues
ဆိုပြီးတော့
You gotta be careful. There was a Bat Rider with a Blink Dagger nearby. He'll snipe a courier, quickly back away. Dire Scan also dropped down the mid lane, but they can clearly see Sumail pushing that wave. I think that might be setting up for Noob, but at the same time, Nigma is sending in heroes down the bottom lane. They see Toby in the river, right under vision. Who are they going to jump first? They probably need to get that Naga Siren out of the way. Ace, as the Mortimer's Kiss is coming in. Toby, can he get close enough for the song? They're going to try and lock down that Naga Siren, which they will be able to.
မာစီကမထိုးလိုက်ရပဲရှော့သွားတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ဂိုလန်ကြီးကတော်တော်ကောင်းသွားတာပေါ့နောက်မှာအာဆာဝင်လာပြီ
Roar gone. Foxy gets taken down by Ghost, and Mickey is on the run. Lasso,
ရပါဘူး
Nisha, they'll take the
တစ်ကိုက
Storm
ပြတ်
Spirit
တယ်
when they can. Mickey
သုံးညအောင်ကတ်
might get on the run here. Not very lucky there with
သုံးညအောင်ကတ်ဆိုတာထက်ကတ်ကသုံးလို့ရတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့အာဆာနဲ့ against မသုံးသင့်အာဆာနဲ့ against သုံးလို့မရဘူးကတ်မနိုင်တဲ့ကောင်တွေထဲမှာအာဆာထိတ်ဆုံးရပဲ
10,000 gold ahead now.
You know what the scary part is?
အဲ့ဒါဟိုမှ
That is
သွား
the
သုံး
best
တယ်
way that the fight starts. The enemies are going
စဖန်တို့ဘာလို့နဲ့ဆိုရင်တော့မှအချိန်တိုင်းတာတစ်ခုရအောင်စဖန်ကိုပြန်တီးလို့ရတယ်ကတ်က
positioned well. You are killing the Naga Siren, the main team
အာဆာ
fight
နဲ့ကမရဘူး
of the opponents before the fight starts, and you can't do anything else. This is also a problem that they haven't taken down a single tower, so Nigma can always respond in numbers immediately. Every tier 1 tower is alive, and this is, I think, the furthest away from a tier 1 that you're gonna be catching Nigma Galaxy without all 5 of their heroes. So
well,
this is a
and
real
now, Abby.
opportunity for Liquid.
နော်
and
over
it just
over
ends up
ဂျင်းတွေ
with
အဲ့လိုဖွင့်ပေးပြီးတော့
this game is-
အန်နာတွေပဲဖြစ်နေတာ
Oh,
Yes, sir.
I don't- it's kind of getting close to
ဒီ
to
ဝဲလဲ
being
over
done.
ထည့်မိရင်
I
ရင်
know
ကွဲ
that
အောင်
there's
ပဲ
a-
တဲ့
Exactly. Ursa lineups don't naturally finish games fast.
ဒီကမားလဲ game 1 တော့ drug ကကောင်းရဲ့သားနဲ့မနိုင်တော့ game 2 ကြတော့မယုံရဲတော့
They've got the
တကယ်ဆို game 2 drug ကကိုကဒီကမားပူကြိုက်
and then
ဘယ်လိုပဲဖြစ်
just going for
ဟဲ့မယုံရဲဘူး duration ကလည်းမထည့်ရဲတော့ဘူးအဲ့တော့ရှောင်မလိုက်တယ်ရှောင်လိုက်တော့မှလုံနေကြည့်အောင်
Easy pick there.
လုတ်ချက်တီးဆိုတာ 11k now on lead
Another extra 30.
20 minute ပဲရှိသေးတယ်
Put back up by the time he respawns. At least Nigma, they used an Aegis for the Tormentor. Sure, the Aegis is gone, but that's a shard.
that's so
for Toby.
critical
Then
okay
now also max mana regen. That'll be Ace, unleash pop into the lasso, surrounded by hostile targets. And despite the fact that you have a level 2 ulti, which usually is a sizable buff for that Marcy, you just can't deal with this many heroes around you.
သိပြန်ပြီ
You still have a T1 to
Sure.
TB2 too, which is a problem for Liquid. All tier 1 standing. Mickey going in onto the Naga Siren. He gets a nice parry onto the Ursa. Actually gets to apply a lot of damage. Mortimer's kisses into the trees. The song's coming in. Ghost is burning. And he did lose that Aegis a while ago. He's going to get the chance to teleport home with Toby following suit. That was a good attempt by Liquid.
Sumail wants him dead. With the Sonic Wave, he will be able to get it.
There we go. Nisha trying to retaliate, get a bit of vengeance.
အဆူကြီးကခေါ်လိုက်ကြီးကတေသွားရင်အနစ်ပဲအမေလည်းမသေးပါဘူး
It's not going to be easy to follow.
Wait, oh,
Not
yo.
that much mana left
Sounds
on
bit
that
low there.
Storm Spirit, so taking down the Kez, continue on the roll. Nigma Galaxy escaping. That can probably give
အာဆာကြီးကအားလီရော
Hero
လေကင်ရော
that
ဘောင်း
is
ဝင်နေ
dead to head over to Fissure's social media channels.
အာဆာမနိုင်တဲ့ကောင်ခက်ရှားရှားရယ်
Command
အဲ
in the
true တို့
chat
ဘာတို့
by
တော့
clicking the banner below the stream.
မလွယ်ဘူးအာဆာနဲ့ true နဲ့က true ကနည်းနည်းကျုံးလို့ရတယ်အာဆာကိုပြန်ပြီးတော့
Instagram and
ဘုံတိုင်းပြန်
TikTok.
ကျဲလို့ရ
Of course, here on our Kick channel.
ပြီးရင်အာဆာမနိုင်တာမောဖလင်းကိုလည်းသိပ်မနိုင်ခြင်းတကယ်ဆိုရင်
Punished here by Sumail
အ
and
တူ
Ghost.
ဖောင်ပြန်ပြောင်းပြီး
Up
သူ့
that
ပြန်လှုပ်လို့ရ
Sapphire. Sumail on a beyond godlike spree, unkilled this game, just like Noob on that Beastmaster. And And they'll find
ဒါပေမဲ့
another Nisha
ဘေးနာ
being
supporter
a
ပါ
bit
ပဲ
of a bonus. I'm not
supporter
sure
အား
how
ကွာ
long
ဝို
Liquid
င်း
can take
အာ
this
ဆာကို
lead
လည်းဝိုင်း
because,
လို့ရပါတယ်
all of your time
ဟို
is
Shadow Demon
already
တို့ဘာ
that
လို့ပါရင်
far
အာဆာ
behind.
ငပေါ်
You're gonna play for some
အဲ့ဒီညကတ်တို့ဘာလို့နဲ့လဲ
some
အာဆာကို
marginal
ပြန်တက်လို့
chance
ရ
for
တယ်
team
ဒီ
fight
က
to get back in.
supporter လည်း
All
စကား
these
ပြော
combos that Liquid's
Shadow
Liquid
Demon
has in their draft,
ပါရင်
they
ပါ
just
မ
don't
ပါရင်
get
Nullifier
utilized
ထက်
to their full extent
ဒါ
because
ပဲရ
the
အ
gap
ကောင်းဆုံးကတော့
between
Shadow
them and
Demon ပဲ
Liquid
အ
is
ပြာကြောင့်ထည့်လိုက်ရင်
really
အာဆာပုတ်သွား
massive.
တယ်
They're too
ပုတ်
weak.
ထွက်သွားတယ်သူကသူလေဂိမ်းမကလို့ဘာဂိမ်းပဲ
That's
ဖြစ်
a
အာ
good
ဆာ
way to
ပုတ်သွား
put
တယ်
it. Even Mickey now with the 2 damage items isn't
ဒါမှမဟုတ်
really
Black Hole တွေပါ
gonna
တဲ့ဆွဲ
force it down. Maybe with the Raven's Veil he's gonna survive a bit longer, but they're still
An
gonna take
extra
him
2
out.
seconds. That's all he's gonna get. Nigma definitely came here to play. And right
And
now
this is
we are looking at a game 3 if this is the pace.
And this is the way that Nigma have been playing, very fast-paced, very aggressive towards their opponents. When they get the lead, they really do crush you. So, this is what I expected from game 1, not to be honest.
Omar, let's get retaliated on. Toby is pulled in without the song. There's a roar coming out from Noob, and Ghost will follow up on Nisha. Nisha does get moved by the cookie a little bit, but doesn't really end up saving the hero. Snap trying to go for the TP out. Tofu's Golem will be focused down. Mickey dying. Omar getting traded. Nisha and Ace also down to the graveyard. And Sumail, well, he's doing some God's work there. A bit of friendly tips coming out there as well from his teammates. Still playing a good game. Actually queuing up an item that I almost never get to see.
Yeah, an Eternal Shot. I think it's because the game is going so well. He already has the Shiva. He already feels unkillable. And then with the
ကိုရက
Eternal
လီယို
Shot,
ရှယ်ရို
he's
ဒီ
gonna
မွန်လို့
reset
ပေါ့
instantly,
အဲ့ဒါပြောတာလေ
doesn't die. Really liquid if you
အဲ့
look,
ကောင်
and then
ပုတ်
we
ထွက်
have
သွား
one spell that
ရှယ်ရိုဒီမွန်လည်းပါမယ် အဲ့ Shadow Demon ပလေယာကလည်းအာဆာကိုပဲထိန်းရမယ်လို့သိရမယ်ကွာသူ့ရဲ့ level 6ကအာဆာအတွက်ပဲအမြဲဖြစ်နေရမယ်အဲ့ဒါကိုမှအပြာကြောင့်ထက်ရရင်ပိုကောင်းတယ်
Yeah, though.
အာဆာလုံးဝလှုပ်လို့မရ
He's always using the Raven's Veil.
အိုးဝေးဝေးမခုံ
So
ဘူး
he's
ဝေးဝေး
even
မခုံ
trying
ဘူး
to do damage.
ဒီတော့မသိဘူးက
We'll see.
Hey, B.
Gonna have to bring in that damage soon. Mickey. It's not gonna Raven's Veil yet. Goes for the silence on Toby. Prevents him from actually getting
Omar,
that combo
Omar,
off
lăn
at
đi
the
nè,
time that
lăn
he
đi nè,
wanted.
khoan xí
Liquid
à,
gonna
bị.
get a chance to retaliate. Toby and
နည်းနည်း
Omar
ခွက်စီးလိုက်ရတယ်
both
ဟိုမှာ
dead.
စပူတာနှကောင်တန်းပြောက်
Noob is
ဟိုက Desolator Raptor Dance ကနော်သွားရှုပ်လို့မရဘူးစောင်းနာတယ် ဆိုပေမဲ့လည်း အာဆာနဲ့ကွင်းပိန်းနဲ့နှကောင်ဘလို့ထိမလဲပေါ့နော်အတင်းတွေဝင်ကျုံနေပြီဘာမှမကြောက်ဘူးနှကောင်သူမရလည်းရှိပါခဲ့ရင်ရင်းချက်ပဲကြာကိုကြီးတဝဲညီလေးတဝဲဟုတ်တယ်အဲ့လိုဖြစ်နေပြီ
meaning that you cannot enter the song early, which was probably the
အ
plan.
ကိုကြီးပွဲကနည်းနည်းကြာတယ်မှာညီလေးက25မိနစ်နဲ့တက်ရိုက်နေပြီမှာ
Now they're gonna set up on Noob, a bit of poke, but he ain't dying anytime
မိနစ်
soon.
30ဆိုကြီးခေါ်ရမယ့်အနေထားပဲ
That's a helm of the Overlord. Gets the roar off.
ကတ်ကဘိုင်ဘတ်တယ်
Get 3 hits enough. Maybe then the Beastmaster will eventually fall. They're taking forever.
အာဆာ
to
ကြံ
kill
သေး
him.
တယ်နော်
Mickey is gone
အေး
so
ဒိုင်ဘက်သွားပြီဗျာဒိုင်ဘက်သွားပြီဗျာ
Ursa just intervenes. He
Wake
takes
is
down
it.
Ace. They'll finally kill off
BKB
Noob,
ပါချီးသွားပြီ
but
Bash
goes
ဝင်တယ်
BKB onto the Storm
ပေါ်ဘက်
Spirit.
ကိုခုံသွားတယ်
Onto the high ground.
နောက်မှလက်ဆိုးဆွဲသွားပြီဗျာ
Fire. I don't know why Foxy was actually. He
Huh.
shot a Mortimer's kiss at his own Storm Spirit.
Maybe
He
he's
was
trying to.
get the cookie or something, but he spat some fire on his ally.
He's trying to swap teams. You remember in Dota 1 days, you could swap teams when one team is crushing the other. He's like, guys, I don't want to be on the losing side. Can I try to kill my Storm Spirit so you take me in? That was
Yeah,
the,
can I revoke my contract I just made with my new team? It's like that's not a great way to start your career in Liquid.
You know, things are definitely not looking good for them in this game, but we're getting very, very close to that 1-1 territory. I think this is the last hurrah for Liquid. They're going
ကဲ
for
နောက်ဆုံး smoke fight
before their Kez is up so that they catch enemies
Potentially.
off guard. And considering that the Ursa is low,
နောက်ဆုံး
this is
smoke fight
actually
ဖြစ်
a
နိုင်တယ်
solid
ဒီ fight
round
ပြီးရင်တော့ GG ခေါ်လောက်
to get a kill. You need that type of fight.
Hey.
One by one.
တွေ့ပြီဗျာနာကအိတ်တာရှိတယ်ဒီကောင်လေးအရန်လုံးလို့မရဘူးနာကတော့အရင်ပြေးချတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ raw ခံလိုက်ရပြီ
The roar is onto the storm.
Sonic Wave.
No damage follow-up until
Oh.
the Sonic Wave kicks
Don't
in.
let the
Nisha
Sonic Wave.
webbed up, and that storm is dropping lower and lower and lower, and
Oh.
finally falling as Marcy will try to battle it out, but Ghost will return to a fight that Liquid's already won to clean it up.
GG သွားပြီ
Game 3 ahead of us.
Yeah, they're
Well,
like,
no,
guys,
hello,
Deer
Jara.
stays low, let's go in. But
Hello,
they
Jara,
go
look like
with the
that.
worst
Going
possible
easy.
hero.
Two men
But
with a car,
Guap
I'm
is
wow.
so tanky in this game that I don't know if with 5 of their heroes they would be able to kill him before he gets the blink out. That is how fat he got on Samael, and that last pick Queen of Pain working out.
အဲ့တော့ game 3 ပေါ့နော် game 3 ကဆက်ပြလို့မရတော့ဘူးအားလုံးပဲ sorry ပါ game 3ကဆက်ပြလို့မရတော့သွားစရာလေးပေါ်လာအဲ့တော့ 1-1 ပေါ့နော်နိုင်နေအတင်းက upper bracket တက်မယ်ရှုံးရင်အောက်မှာ mouse နဲ့သွားတွေ့မယ်ဆိုတော့ bye bye game 3မပြတော့ပါဘူးပြီးပါ see you guys
ကျေးဇူးပြုပြီးယနေ့ညရဲ့ကျေဝင်များကိုကြိုဆိုလိုက်ကြရအောင် One Expert မှာထိပ်တန်းစုများကိုရယူထားသူ Dota 2 ၏ hero များအကောင်းဆုံးတည်ဆောင်မှု Hunter Lancer အကောင်းဆုံးပံ့ပိုးမှု Mossy အကောင်းဆုံးအလေလံ Zeus အိုးငါဘက်ကိုဆိုလိုတာပါအကောင်းဆုံးကစားသမားစီ One Expert ကစားသူများ One Expert ဒါသင်ရဲ့ pick ပဲကျေးဇူးပြုပြီးယနေ့ညရဲ့ကျေဝင်များကိုကြိုဆိုလိုက်ကြရအောင် One Expert မှာထိပ်တန်းစုများကိုရယူထားသူ Dota 2 ၏ hero များအကောင်းဆုံးတည်ဆောင်မှု Hunter Lancer အကောင်းဆုံးပံ့ပိုးမှု Mossy အကောင်းဆုံးအလေလံ Zeus အိုးငါဘက်ကိုဆို